MU mengebol-ebol, pik, mengerikan, cok.
Boster.
Woi, apa gak, woi?
Lagi Valo, yo.
Oh, Valo. Lu berdua doang.
Iya, lagi nonton tapi.
Loh, ayo
Pengen-
main, Cok.
Sabar, gue lagi minta ini, minta akun ke teman gue.
Gue minus 2 udah main ini rank gede.
Iya, kan akunnya kan gue pakai akun orang, cok. Lo rank apa?
Ascendan, Imo.
Gak apa-apa, easy ya Sendan.
Ayo cepet.
Nanti nonton ini, cok, Fnatic dulu, cok. Sambil
kalah juga,
sambil nunggu.
kalah.
Sambil nunggu akunnya dikirim. Lagi diisiin bundle.
Wah, gua agak DM Discord.
Yo, ntar gue WA aja. Jangan DM Discord.
We'll never know, but we can speculate. We can pretend like it was the best speech.
I'm gonna corner Boser at the bar and ask him. That's what I'm
When you find out the script, scan it and send it to me.
I got you.
Thank
I got
you.
you. All right, this is it. I mean, we're gonna be jumping into Icebox, by the way. You do not hear
Dari kemarin Nobar tuh kena itu nggak sih, Maki?
Ya kenal lah, kena copyright, gak masuk ini ya. Dolarnya.
You know that Fnatic love this map and they have been very successful on this map and just it is a scary situation for Fury to find them.
Gue gak sempet main dari kemarin, capek, pik.
Gue tuh biasanya nyampe rumah PC itu gue sengaja coba gue gak mandi langsung gue rebahan. Kalau gue mandi udah cuma pagi gak tidur. Kayak gue berisikan mandi ya.
Tapi gue kalau gue nggak mandi malah gue tidur loh, pik.
Makanya itu gue langsung rebahan lagi.
Enggak, gue kalau nggak mandi, terus gue
mandi gak bisa.
Gue rebahan, itu gue malah tidur lama, bener. Karena badan gue kayak lemes gitu kalau belum mandi. Kalau udah mandi makin lama.
Malam gue langsung nggak mandi kan, langsung tidur gue. Suruh cuci muka sama cewek gue cuma itu doang, cuma apa? Wudhu doang.
Oh, ini gue udah dikirimin akun.
It does feel that this is direction where you lean in. They've moved away from the killjoy entirely, and they're trying to sort of break down where because Durka is insane on this map on the chamber. If that knife gets contact on him, he can't TP away. I think that's the easiest way to try and break onto those sites and make sure that Durka can't go insane on this map.
I like that as well.
Bang itu mungkin Street Lab kalau udah selesai kalau misalnya ditarik lagi ganti itu ganti ya.
Ganti plastik.
Ganti cover ya.
Iya kali.
Masa tiap ini buat kan nggak mungkin coba buat apa? Kalau dijual ya juga percuma ya.
Harganya naik, Fik, kalau dijual, Fik. X VCT gitu.
X apa? Bekas for second nih. Bekas siapa nih gitu.
Kursi ini pernah diduduki Scream. Gue map 1 all in Fnatic ini anjir.
Menurut gue ditarik lagi. Ganti.
Gue map 1 all in Fnatic nih, Fik. Nekat, Fik. Nekat coba gue. Pikir gue kalau ini kalah, gue masih ya udah gue aja gitu loh. Wah, sumpah, gue nagih tadi tai gara-gara menang itu. Kaget gue, jedar,
Kalau gua
jedar,
udah
jedar, jedar. Dapat kali
400.
berapa ya? Kali 48. Kali 48 terus itunya dapat 2.500 kali 48. Wah, ngawur kata gue. Jadi 100 berapa puluh ribu. Gila.
Kalau udah 400 gue langsung withdraw ke 300 kok ya.
Tadi itu salah sih, namanya orang mainan kayak gitu tuh pasti ini pik nagih. Pik, tapi gua kan nggak sampai habis ya, maksud gua udah untung segitu terus hilang ya gua tarik aja kalau udah dapet. Yang penting gua masih untung gitu loh modelannya. Jangan sampai malahan model gua habis juga. Wah, booster sih dapet sih. Nggak mungkin dia nggak expect. Ente. Help me, kata booster. Semoga Fnatic menang 2-1, guys.
Fnatic 2-0.
2-1 lah. Bet-betan gue 2-1 soalnya.
And again, when we talk about win conditions here for Furia, it feels like one of those mental games because we know that Fnatic have had fumbles in the past, right? It's one of those mistakes and get into their own heads. You know, the emotional issues start to arise. Now, especially with the Brazilian teams, this sort of region getting fired up early, getting confidence, showing that yeah, we can actually do damage to Fnatic is huge. So big start for them, pick up the pistol there, gonna instantly go towards the
Metanya di sini gak pakai duels ya. Icebox.
Nggak berlaku untuk weprek. Dar! Aduh, dar ke. Lo udah menit berapa, Fik?
Gue nonton di Tarkon, tumben banget nih delay 22 detik kan. Menit berapa lu? 9.
1-5.
Oh, ya beda sedikit lah.
Waduh, gak ke-plan lagi. Mergo wis tau jeru biyen aku cek betah suwi-suwi wegah. Hah? Bukan minggu depan. Nuruti kekarepanmu.
Not at all. Okay, this is quite exciting. Getting super proactive down middle. Does have support as well. He's not alone there.
But that's the thing, it's a key focal point really in controlling Fnatic on their attacking half is this presence outside a tube, not allowing anything to slip the net.
Well, the amount of times we complimented that mid lurk coming out from be it even Boaster, Alpha at the time, we've seen a couple of players do it. And with that presence still noted, Boaster's going to try and drift back over. Now, let's note the timing. He could get this right. This could be critical to outcome.
He's in range of his TP so deep in tube as well that Boaster actually
still checks it.
I was gonna say it was nearly a clean swing there actually with the crowd to the last second.
But the time again, they're down to 50 seconds now. Fnatic will have to start taking these.
Seksi banget ya gua. Ngapain malu sih? Iya. Tahu gini loh. Ngapain malu? Aku udah kemarin live pakai color doang kok. Wah, gila, bonus roundnya malah kalah. What?
Gila, sate.
Ini sih kalau gue kalah sih 60 melayang, guys.
the clash.
A couple of bits of util left as well for Khalil. This isn't too bad, but okay, noted on the knife. Couple more seconds, but he's trying to play around the world. Play back. All still there, gets depleted, as does the Sage Wall. First contact made, and he's down to 9 HP. You see Khalil gonna try and push up on this one, but the diffuse is coming in. He ain't stopped.
Oh.
Converting bonus, unbelievable. A risky purchase.
Apakah?
Gue kalau map 1 kalah hilang 60 lebih. Asem.
Belum. Tapi ya.
Sabar. Fnatic belum panas.
Operator not actually retrieved. Now that is the concern on the back end of that, but they've converted the bonus.
And it looks like they're investing back around that. It
Well, they're able to share the wealth.
Exactly. So that's back into play. This is huge. Fnatic maybe a little shaken up here, but going for the rifle with light armor purchase.
Massive gaps in the utility though. Yeah. First time actually seeing any sort of focus in the early round towards B here. Both is going to get caught up in that snake.
Wah.
This time around, the operator pays dividends.
Tampak mengerikan, guys. Tapi kok Fnatic bisa full buy lagi ya? Oh, half armor.
Similar seems on the other side, potentially trying to find some back. Again, that rotation back would be an issue. For now, though, Enzo looking for information towards B.
I mean, the fact that Boast has fallen first makes this B hit. I was say Durka furiously looking for that one. They are going to be tested.
Wah, kok Furia tajam anjir.
Ozzy up to the task.
Sakit dong.
Also good for Furia here. Sticking Enzo. They were noted earlier on. And, this is
Nice.
okay. That was maybe a little much, but
He can come back and get the res now. He can get Boast back up.
Wah, menang nih.
Back to a 3v3. Certainly not over yet, Mike.
Well, it makes it a little easy now. What I was about to say, with Boaster falling, this Viper wall being down makes this B site execute
Balik
so
lagi.
much harder. To even make use of
Bang, ayo push rank. Push rank apa, Dip? Sabar.
25 seconds. And then that's a spike down. Mystic's fallen. Quickly gathered by Boaster, but there's no safety. This Enzo needs to almost secure this himself. Has to
Wah.
find some safety. And
Wah,
Furia
kok kayak
will
gini sih Fnatic, guys?
Let's pump the brakes now because we were talking about win conditions. Let's revisit those, Mike. So far, this is looking good.
Yeah, keeping them in check here. And actually, when you look at kind of head-to-head,
Can someone get this?
lag a little behind in terms of their defensive success, and Fnatic actually edging out in terms of the attack. So this is a very interesting start. No surprise to see the timeout called here. I mean, I was saying make it interesting. Furia looking total control right now. And it's the timings that, the second layer of some of these defensive setups where they're ready, looking for Alpha, looking for Boaster, there's 3 members of Fnatic that are known to lurk here behind some of these executions. And Furia are well equipped for all of it.
And I love that because the amount of times during the EMEA regular season we talk about how much value they get on control.
Looking for free sometimes.
Really,
Like,
really, left to their own
completely
devices.
uncontested.
Which was always such a curiosity, but it feels as though Furia are very aware of this. They've now had 2 different looks towards dealing with it. They've had
Ini lagi Twitch kan nanti.
Tweets.
They've had both sides of the coin in that aspect, while Fnatic were testing the waters over towards that B side. So it's kind of interesting they've now weathered the storm to a degree on both sides, and they're going to reap the rewards of the benefit of the economy now sitting favorably for them. They should have potentially 5 here unless Fnatic brings something out. Always a chance, but still.
In terms of the finances, this is the one now. But obviously, with Fnatic purchasing back,
Nanti Dip Nobar lu, Dip.
Operator coming out very early. This is the one where we should see Furia's economy stabilize.
Fnatic menang 2-1 ya. Ini bisa nih. Map 1 Fnatic, map 2 Furia, map 3 Fnatic Wani.
With how much control they've been in previously, if this is flawless, I'm actually getting a little concerned how far Furia can go with this half.
Well, Mini should have, as I said, he pumped the brakes just a round ago, and he's going to be coming back in with a plan. So, again, Mini, maybe not always getting the credit he deserves. Very much one of the key aspects of what has made Fnatic great in the past. So, hopefully he's going to be able to adjust a couple of things here. Let's look at what they come in with. And it's Stingers galore, Headhunter coming out, and that's about all she wrote. And once again, look towards middle. Mazin already starting to have a little
Oh, gue kira Alfajar megang pandal tadi. Stinger toh.
Give away too much in these rounds. This is another test for Furia. How do they look in their anti-ecos? How robust do they look? You said it. You want to see the economy starting to stabilize, and this is the round for exactly that.
Fnatic very cautious.
Kenapa follow gue nggak ada kursornya ya? Gitu ya.
Maybe going to ping 3, but the fact that it's Enzo would lean towards a couple more members of Fnatic lying in wait. Once again, wall goes up actually under 50 seconds, so Fnatic kind of have to deal with this now.
There's only 2 on the side this time for Furia. We have seen that third player rotate really quickly, and that might be the case now. Muzzin kind of drifting back away from middle. Might have to leave that more into the hands of Khalil to fill that gap, as the hit will be coming through. So 3 on the side. Good spot towards Belt already done. That's a hunter removed from this. But the Stingers, you don't want to get up close to them, and you're seeing that now. Alpha shows it how it's done, and it's a firing squad. But again, none of it came towards Furia. It was all on Fnatic. 14 seconds now, they're running out of time.
Wow.
Enzo and Bosa somehow break in.
Masalahnya waktu, sekarang ada di waktu, guys.
Has to do some damage here. The ult's popped. Enzo's taking down his teammate. They're still doing damage. Mike, it ain't over yet.
Khalil already down to 1 HP now with the decay.
Dikasih thrifty. Kena nih Furia nih. Bisa nggak sih?
That momentum from building. You're actually pretty hyped up. Usually after a
Guys, jelek ya.
expect value immediately in that round, maybe a round or so to breathe and come through back in the buy round, but Fnatic
Fik. Keretekannya mantep nggak, Fik?
through that side, to be honest with you. Couple of running guns, unfortunate for Furia, but you noted it. Only 2 members here, and they were happy to stand and fight. You know, maybe if it's the Sage Sniper, there's a bit more stall value to some utility there, but as soon as that wall gets dealt with,
Di VCT kali ini gue mendukung Fnatic, guys.
you know, come back to an anti-plant, you know, use some of that utility a little wiser. You see, actually,
I love how aggressive this guy is.
yeah.
This is, and they're investing behind it. You've got Stingers still coming out because they've been buying this operator.
Aku besok potong rambut lah ya.
But already a different look from Fnatic. Very passive. Noted though. That's already been spotted now.
Got potential here for the round to slow down and actually Durka to slip into
Rambutku tapi kunciran ini apa ya?
contact with the operator.
Potong samping aja. Apa?
Securing the lockdown available for Fnatic.
Yang rapi? Iya, kunciran tapi. Rapi lah kunciran kalau asal pinggirnya dibotakin. Kayak Sule.
Investing the wall towards B.
Nanti taruh cat kuning.
How Furia play this, 'cause
Valorant gue gak ada kursornya, Bang Ki.
Udah, relock lah.
botting the push up.
Udah 2 kali, Cok.
Alpha's gonna slip back in here, looking as if it's gonna be a 2-man load.
Udah ke AWP juga.
Decent info found, but you're right. It's 2 players to this now. On the other side though, it's not just one. It's not just Ian Maz in there. You're gonna have the support coming over as well. So bear in mind the purchase isn't perfect, so some of these players are on the stinger, but the adjustment from Khalil is good. Trade comes out for Alpha. That was the second player towards mid for Furia. A little bit of a pop flash as well. They're trying to clear back through. Already the side hit comes in, but they haven't cleared. Back by Yellow. It's still good trades for Furia. They're still at the advantage. 1 player up.
Planting aja.
Doesn't commit to it just yet.
10 seconds left.
Actually, the fragment
Di wall.
just a little damage gonna force Enzo back, but it's 2v3 now. Durka and Enzo left to try and recover this post plant.
Bisa nih kayak gini.
Pixel out of place is all he normally needs. He's noted it. He's got it. Big shot from Durka. Back down to the 2v2. Oh, that was so close, Durka. Readjustment on this. How are these not hitting? They look like they're on the money. Hunter's Fury gonna come down. That's Enzo. The back line's Khalil. Body checks Durka. The shot goes straight for Enzo. He's gonna come in. Can he do anything to deny this? Khalil is gonna sit this one. The bodyguard is on this, and he's just gonna hold it down. Enzo cannot get there in time. Furia pull it right back and put Fnatic in their place.
And you almost think there with Durka finding that kill, he's able to stabilize a little bit behind Yellow, but I mean, Khalil's lucky to be alive. Let's put it that way.
Yes,
So lucky.
2 shots from Durka, so close by.
Wonderful timing on the null commander. Just as soon as
Nggak
pressure comes
sempet.
through, they know that the Viking is going to come up. They're going to try and wall off and plant here. The null command denies all of that from happening.
Enggak, Dip, lu jangan dukung Furia ya. Dip, lu harus dukung Fnatic. Gue masang Fnatic.
Checks back in because we're at 5-1. Now, okay, they fashioned a buy, but it's not perfect. You're going to see the ult coming in there as well. Khalil going to try and lock out that A site, deny that approach. Now we know Fnatic, this won't stop them going for this potentially.
No, and quite often they do use the lockdown, which is available here for Alpha. Yeah,
Pak, Durkanya miss terus sih, anjing.
force the issue, so to say, on A site.
Tuh, kenapa nih Fnatic nih?
Look at Durka not actually spotted at Aldrone.
Yuk, dipik yuk, dipik yuk, dipik yuk. Waduh.
Durka gave up the angle for a moment there.
Oh my god, he still gets tagged.
Wah, AWP-nya si kerasan CallMeKYY. Gila, Fnatic sih maksa buy banget ya tadi. Half terus ini armornya.
They're trying to condition mid a little bit here. I don't know where they're going to try to already they've slipped back so deep.
I mean, I just saw a couple of pings here. Whether or not Mystic's going to stay and actually wall off mid behind this poison orb.
Anjir.
Side of it, actually.
Lu kenapa sih, Pik?
Gue telat ya?
Lu menit berapa sih?
57.
Anjir, lama banget.
Fury out of nowhere. Okay, that's ascended and hope for recipient, but finds
Ih,
very little.
multi apa itu? Multi angin kah?
Seconds low.
Berapa lu? 25, 24.
So low. Now the lockdown's going to help things out. Does anything really get that
16, 15.
could have done something,
Oh,
but
yeah.
damage was not enough. Really not connecting on this. Which is in on the back of the site, still looking for players. He's going to find one. He's just going to stand and deliver.
Mati kamu, lihat.
Only one.
Aku nggak tahu ada mistik di sini.
Themselves a plant. Mazin is safe for now. But they at least
Lihat nih, Derke nih, ngeflick nih. Ih, nggak gitu, Derke. Nggak jelas, bener. Bisa-bisanya ngepick kanan gitu, kirinya, apa, snowman-nya nggak diliatin. Ih.
now down to Alpha, Enzo, Mystic, the play coming back in, Khalil, Mazin. All looking for the way forward. Khalil's already going to be sat on this one. That's going to be halfway. No one's challenging this again. Oh,
Wah,
finally Mystic
untung
gets
aja
that
lo.
Khalil.
This wall should drop in a second as well.
Al-Fajar kok.
Really snappy.
Has to slip away.
Jangan sok tahu kayak Piki katanya, Pik. Bijak banget Pik di Papik. Gimana, Pik? Nggak tahu dah. Lemes ya, Pik. Piki lemes, guys.
Lockdown goes into B main. Luckily they hold on because there's moments here. I don't know what happened to the nanoswarm. I heard the sound cue go through, but it wasn't actually denying the defuse. I hope it was just a timing there when it got shot, but the voice line at least came through. It was able to stick the defuse regardless. Thank God Mystics lands the headshot.
Bang Ki.
Oi.
Waduh, 5-2 Bang Ki.
Asem aku semua, Bang, kesini, Bang. Orang.
Aku 2-1 kok.
I don't know if somebody was
Kenapa?
picking up that
Aku masang 2-1.
Aku 21-nya 10, 50-nya kesini. Karena kan odds kecil kan.
Iya.
Tak babatin aja semua kesini.
Ternyata Furia
Pikirku map 1 pick-pickan Fnatic, Icebox. Wani nih kataku, langsung lah ketemu semua, gak gambling.
gonna make either of it, but actually Fnatic feels if they had
Aduh, double damage.
absolutely ate that shot down.
Why is there three of them alive, Mike? This should not be.
Betting
the
terus.
case. This shouldn't
Betting apaan, Dip?
Alpha Enzo still standing. The res comes in, they're committing to this one. They think they got a real shot in this. Dirk is still though
He has to hold
standing.
Maksudnya semua jiwa gue loh, gue serahin ke Fnatic map 1 ini.
Players, what do we have? First
Percing shot.
Dirke.
Dirk getting the double and bringing it back.
Itu kalau PB sih seru, piercing shot.
Back to Furia.
Yang bikin PB, bikin PB seru tuh kan kayak gitu. Kalau AWP-nya kena 2, piercing shot, chain kill.
Chain killer.
Dirk, hold on, it ain't over yet. It certainly ain't over yet.
Nih. Derke, set. Tipu daya, anjay. Han, gimana Han? Sudah sampai di sana Han? Tadi pagi aku minta tolong Bang Falka keplakin palahan. Udah pulang katanya. Tadi siang deh, gue bangun siang soalnya.
behind. Seen him do that before as well at this event. The headshot on the player behind. Zena takes first.
Piercing shot,
Zena eats a headshot actually.
chain killer,
It comes right
chain
down to the
killer.
Still. Must be nice to have a Dirk on your side.
Wah gila.
taking him a couple
Pantes Derke
now.
bisa ace.
Talk about the operator potentially being the turning point of whether or not it's going to be a slower.
Langsung time out guys ini. Apa nih Puma?
Starts landing shots, expecting
Puma.
him to be
Bye bye Puma.
we would historically
Map 1 menang Fnatic, map 2 Furia, map 3 Fnatic. Wih, double damage seru, benar.
Double damage.
We were being quite about this. And, I'm happy to put it out there. Some of the best there is. I mean, how many features can we do about Boaster? I mean, they're a great team, right? They are a great team. But I need to see them kind of rekindle some of that clean wins. Some of
Udah
the
tuh, itu besok-besok lu kalau ngerank kayak gitu di kalau pas Change Round gini-gini nih. Biar strong dia.
concerns looking at Fnatic on the international stage, call it underperformance or
Itu
whatever hat you want to
biar tangannya gimana gitu.
come through and look pretty convincing, right? It needs to back up the hype.
It does. And looking at
Buat apa? Kan ada Vicky lah. Emang lu nggak tahu kalau Vicky setiap ini kayak gitu, setiap round. Vicky setiap round kayak gitu. Makanya dia sering itu. Kalau udah mulai dia belakangan datangnya gitu. Karena dia kayak gitu dulu. Vicky masuk dulu. Kenapa Furia yang ngawur ya? Iya, positive thinking aja ya kan.
Sakit banget Bang Ki.
Iya, tajam banget.
Iya.
Your duty is not over. Masih
Ya Allah,
dapet.
headshot dong.
Derkenya nggak siap megang AWP lagi. Kalau nggak batuk tak balik tuh. Jadi gimana, PC-mu udah dikirim tapi An? Iya Allah, mistik tipis banget. Lah.
Wah, gila.
Untung mistik dapet. Diranen.
Oh.
Again, let's look at that early round. Statistically, Furia should have had such an advantage, but Fnatic somehow pull it back.
Belum. Kenapa, Cok? Kirim lah, apa lagi?
Yes, 100%.
And this is, I don't know how many times now we're going to look at this on the halftime, but it's really starting to cripple some of these setups. You see actually the frustration starting to show here. Boaster luckily makes the best of this, finds a kill in mid here for Drill, plants the seeds of maybe.
Tai si mistik kayak orang-orang yang takut kalah terus run gun gitu anjir.
I think because they're probably reading into it. Yeah, we've got a 3v2. Let's just push this, play trades. They catch Durka before he gets into that cheeky spot on top of boxes, but really impressed with Furia so far, honestly. And not just from the play we're seeing, it's their grasp of the timing, exactly what Fnatic want to achieve outside both sides.
They're a gutsy team. The way they play is just so brazen, and you can see the response from Fnatic now.
Bien aku cepet suwe-suwe wega nuruti kekarepanmu. Fnatic meta-meta FPX emang EMEA ini begini banget, kecuali tim Liquid anjir.
Belum tahu piniknya Scream.
Belum tahu piniknya Scream loh, W Gaming. Anjir bang, tadi yang aku SS ke kamu tuh, aku kali berapa ya? Kali 58 itu tuh. Jadi 300 berapa gitu. Tak lanjutin sisa 120 tak tarik bang.
Iyalah, gatal mesti Bang Ki.
Iya bener, emang gatel ya bang, emang kayak gitu bang.
Iya. Itu sebenarnya kalau udah 58 gitu kalau dapat lagi kayaknya susah Bang Ki.
Oh gitu ya, aku tadi soalnya berkali-kali bang.
Kalau nggak
Kamu tahu nggak?
maksudnya,
Jadi aku tuh gini bang, aku tuh kan menang terus kan dari modal berapa? 60.000 jadi 200 itu aku nggak beli skater loh. Free. Aku malah tadi 3 kali beruntun dapat free bang. Kamu tahu?
Apa mainnya tuh? Zeus.
3 kali beruntun bang, aku bener-bener 3 kali beruntun. Jadi aku kan kayak 20 gitu kan, kadang kan nggak dapat 20 terus. Nah yang aku hoki yang bisa dapat banyak itu dapat free. Terus itu cuma dapat dikit tapi yang pertamanya. Terus yang kedua dapatnya lumayan, yang ketiga banyak. Nah sisanya aku beli, kalah, beli lagi, menang. Beli lagi 2 kali, kalah semua, jelek semua. Langsung sudahan aku tak tarik. Hidupin yang kipasnya panas.
Rifty Bang Ki, ngawur. Bahaya.
Nggak apa-apa. Ini taker toh.
Map satunya kali berapa Bang Ki?
Berapa ya? Aku bukan kali sih bang, aku pakai yang minus.
Waduh.
Jadi aku masang, aku taruh 5, tapi dia minus jadi bisa dapet. Pokoknya punya aku kena semua, tapi baliknya 40-an dari 30. Jadi kayaknya sih cuman 1,5-an deh. Aslinya ya.
Iya.
Gitu sistemnya, baru ngerti ya. Refleks nge-spin, iya anjir. Padahal 60 jadi 400 itu udah enak banget. Nggak nyampe 400 sih, 300-an.
Itu tuh kayak diuji ya Bang Ki.
Diuji.
Nafsunya diuji.
Maruk nggak nih orang katanya.
Marah.
Ya gitu Bang. Orang-orang itu kan udah dapet, maunya lebih.
Lagi.
Taunya rungkat gitu.
Lah.
Tuh guys, kita harus belajar dari situ guys. Kalau lagi wangi, harusnya stop. Itu jadiin pelajaran guys. Pelajaran berharga.
Apalagi segitu, Jo. 60 jadi 4.
Ya, nggak sampai 4, 3 berapa gitu tadi itu.
Iyalah.
Wah, Edian aku sih
Bang
yang
Ki?
hour itu. Tapi tahu nggak yang terakhir tadi itu Bang?
Nah.
Aku tuh dapet baru spinnan keempat apa kelima gitu. Aku tuh dapat kali gede, dapat 20, terus berapa gitu. Pokoknya masih sisa 10 spin. Kalinya udah 40-an.
Oh iya.
Oh, tapi Bang,
Nggak pecah.
nggak ada blast sampai selesai. Aku itu padahal udah cengar-cengir Bang. Pikirku masih ada 10, kok kalinya udah 40, ini ngawur kataku Bang.
Itulah Bang Ki.
Kataku ini mecahin 1000 aja udah lumayan gitu.
Dapat.
Tapi nggak pecah blast. Pecah itu cuma yang 50, terus kalinya 40, dapetnya 2000. Tai kataku.
Lockdownnya nggak hancur.
Kena dong. Nggak berani tapi ya orang. Takut di ban. Malahan bener kalah. Aduh.
Sakit banget ya Brasilnya.
Nggak ngerti kok sakit banget ini. Itu masuk. Belum malah masuk semok. Aduh. Enzo.
That came bloody close though. Enzo's not got shock darts there. Again, the Viper's bit goes up. They're looking to try and secure that. Thank God.
Gak apa-apa kamu map 2 panas Furia. Yang penting ini menangin dulu Fnatic asem.
Mystic. Just trying to put the team on his back here.
Posternya belum kecun adik-adik.
Ada Vicky toh.
Ada toh.
Tadi.
Malah kalau map 3 menang Furia juga, map 2 Furia, map 3 Furia, aku malah lebih banyak dapetnya Bang.
Mermo pecah semua.
Jangan tapi mending 2-1 aja biar sama-sama enak. Aku soalnya 2-1 Fnatic, 2-1 Furia tak pencet semua Bang.
Apa pencet semua?
2-1 Furia ngeri kok. Waduh gila, Sopadip anjir.
Ulti, dia balas ulti.
Tapi kena sekali kan ya Sopadip juga ya?
Iya, karena
Di repep wani. Ya. Ya.
banget, Cok.
Wah, geter booster. Geter anjir dia. Itu kalau nggak geter bisa sih.
Phantom Momentos.
Wah, ini sih sumpah DG sini nih sih pelurunya aneh anjir. Tuh, ya kan? Tenang banget nembaknya. Nggak nge-spray dia.
Baru sebulan loh Bang Ki.
Dia nggak nge-spray loh, itu DG sini tuh loh.
Baru sebulan di Furia loh.
Iya. Famous itu, Vic.
Against Fnatic, I would have looked at you and called you a cold-blooded liar. This is the reality that we live in. Oh my goodness, Ryan, what a game we have been treated to thus far.
And just a great show. We got to see a little bit of but DT's in on Furia.
Nah ini, oh ini tuh DG sini. Mukanya kayak tukang begal Brazil anjir. Kayak
Perampok, Cok.
kayak mafia iya.
Kayak perampok.
Kayak Adriano malah.
So this is typically where you don't want to see a big gun brought in because you want to be sort of playing a bonus and stuff like that, but he manages to make it work, and it's one of the reasons why we got to see Furia getting a 5-1 lead. In fact, he was getting the operator online and shut down a lot of what Fnatic wanted to do.
There was so many remarks, not from the side of Furia. Don't worry, Furia, they're operating in full steam ahead. You guys are doing great, no problems. I have no qualms with what you guys are putting on the board. I have qualms with the fact that it required
Hantu.
investments to win rounds. It required a Dirk
Click Club by Sheila Marcia.
Enzo Clutch to win another round. This is ridiculous, and there is a saving grace for the eliminator. So I have to give it to you guys, of course. Last time they played, of course, they only won those 4 attacking rounds, and then they got the 9 defensive rounds. So let's make the assumption that Fnatic is defensive-sided. I am giving you some kind of back-in EMEA fans, some kind of hopium and copium to move forward with.
To keep this going is Mazin on the KO.
Yes.
He needs to be a knife through butter, finding out where Dirk is going to be. If they start to
Booster sampai lompat-lompat, Cok.
that means Dirk is going to get the operator. That's what they want to avoid. That's where success. They can't let Dirk get the operator on defense. It's that straightforward. And when you have a Sage, a Killjoy, a Chamber, all that utility around the map, you need to break some of it and find those spaces.
Lagi diococein tuh. Pick
Ini
terus.
pakainya 240 ya?
Apa?
Monitornya 240 ya?
240 turun.
I told you High Park this was going to be a good game. You see, you got to listen to Papa GB from time to time. Over to you guys.
Any retorts to that?
No comment. I'll speak to you after.
Oh, dicey in here. But back into this, we do dive in on the second half now. 7-5. If you are just tuning in, Furia are indeed leading Fnatic on Icebox. Now, it could all change. I know. I'm telling myself this.
Ngancurin itu dong.
Putting up a fight, but we have to see it now.
Ngancurin apa?
Hancur tapi masih.
Ngancurin apa sih? Alarm.
Ya ini.
Kamera ya?
Yang kalau ada di ini di mana? Kantin.
Oh, trap kantin.
Iya. Ini kan dikasih trap.
Wah, Derke sih.
Drifting underneath nest. I'm happy to wait things out now. Actually got 2 players posted up towards B. Potentially take a little contact. But it's cautious. Considering how the end of the first
Ditungguin, Cok.
Totally different tone.
Yo, pelan banget Furia main.
Just almost eerie, almost too silent, almost too quiet at this point. Fnatic might get a little too curious, and you can see him trying to avoid line of sight here. Dirk will get forced away, and they're going to be quick towards getting sight. Mystic, the next one in line. And actually, Mystic's been having a belting game, bear in mind. Top of the scoreboard, leading the way. But Furia are on the side. They should be able to get the spike plant.
Nice, Dirk.
Unless Dirk keeps doing this, a little bit of chip damage here and there. Just down to 3. The response is in middle, but it's traded.
Just 2 members left here for Furia. To try and hold on to side here. Actually trying to get ahead.
Tai dijogetin Sage.
Bisa gitu.
Nice. Setuju sama. Lah, ini menang lagi kok.
Tackle semua ya kalau kena thrifty ya.
Kayak boom kemarin ya, Cok. Ngawur, Cok. Thrifty terus.
A lot of it, if he's noted, whether or not Furia are going to kind of sit behind that or try and challenge him, that's going to be something I've got my eye on.
Fnatic fans can breathe a sigh of relief seeing that. That should at least put them up to 7-7. Not seeing too much is making me worried. Coming back into this, it's classic. I think maybe a shorty being avoided, but that's about it. Again, we have seen a couple of these.
Kan 1.
2 AR loh, Bang Ki.
Waduh, low semua.
Kan.
Waduh.
Wah, low semua, guys. Oh, wallbang Spectre, Vic. Bayangin, Vic.
Booster.
Wah, ini sih gak expect booster anjir.
Banyakin pegang pisau tuh.
Wah, kena timing dua-duanya. Selamat Vic, Vandala Vic 2 Vic.
Hampir ya.
Vandala sama Phantom ding. Wah, tapi ini kalau si Derke mati, si 2 panda lepas anjir lawan Spectre. Gitu Vic, makanya Vic. Pokoknya setiap abis menang round tuh lompat-lompat. Dicontoh Vic.
Itu lompat-lompat dari tadi, Cok. Pas time out, pas half.
Dia kan emang kalau time out kayak gitu. Biar apa badannya seger Vic.
Biar gak ngejing.
Iya. Gue kira kalau streaming abis kena copy apa, terus hasil streamingnya kita private nggak kena copyright, ternyata tetap ya.
Tetap.
Ngesok data apa deh? Alah. Rata lah sama Derke. Ya Vic. Mereka retake A ya. Oh, memang sengaja setup buat defender pick, 2 sentinel pick. 3 sentinel deng Vic.
3.
Chamber, Killjoy, Sage. Loh, mau ngapus lewat mana lo? Lewat mid, ada Killjoy.
Kepalanya.
Emang degezin lagi, Bang.
Nah, Adriano, Bang Ki.
Iya kok.
Udah di awalnya kayak gitu ya.
Apa-apaan ini?
Gila.
Wah. Wah, ini sih Fnatic kayaknya terlalu nggak punya duit, maksa beli terus, beli Guardian, half armor. Lebih ke ngawur nih. Tim Liquid 2.0 kayak ini.
Tim Liquid kalau di upper bracket nih.
Iya, tim Liquid kalau di upper bracket ini bener.
Kalau di lower niat.
Dari tadi Bang di first half juga kayak gitu Bang belinya Bang. Lihat tuh ada yang pakai pistol, ada yang pakai vandal, ada yang pakai jet, tapi duitnya nggak ada yang punya Bang. Oh, Derke sih ngandelin ulti abis ini ya.
Iya, bisa ulti.
Masih bisa beli kok itu kok.
Ya,
Alphajar juga masih bisa.
Alphajar beli, Mystic beli, cuman itu doang, sofanya doang.
Alphajar masih 1.900.
Harus diajarin meta baki nih Han. Kalau Iko beli baki 2.
Just Momentos kah? Aduh.
Cuma dapat 1. Sage dibalas Sage. So it is down to a 2v3, and bear in mind Alpha's the one with a little bit more threat here. To comfortably get this plant down. Enzo only on the classic. 1 ulti mundur, dapat senjata nggak itu?
Sudah dapet sih di bawah itu.
Nunggu yang lain mundur, yang ambil senjata. Masalahnya itu masih bisa di-pick, nggak gitu konsepnya deh. Wah.
Wallbang.
Ayayay.
Tapi ini kalau menang Furia map 2-nya serem Bang Ki, map panjang.
Ya terus kalau ini menang Furia terus
map 2 Furia lagi.
2-3 dibantai sama Fnatic juga aku tekor.
Oh iya ya.
2-0 malah lebih tekor ya. Habis aku.
Gedenya di sini.
Dirk obviously invested in the previous tour de force available now. But look at this ult cycle for Furia. And then look at the scoreline.
10-10-40 jatuhnya.
That's very scary.
Ding ya?
Oh,
Ding wallbang ya?
wallbang.
Dua lagi pelurunya hilang. Aduh.
Pick terus.
Big damage.
75.
Banyakin lu nge-pick.
Wah, Boster sih kalau ngepick, ente sih kalau maju.
Mati.
Problem being, if they can create a little bit of pressure towards Dirk, I think
Derke sih bahaya banget tau ininya cara ngepicknya tuh. Tuh ya kan? Dia itu dari tadi loh kayak gitu.
Terlalu over, Cuk. Terlalu over.
Dia ngepick kanannya dilebarin, dia tanpa peduliin kirinya itu ada musuh. Gak dicek gitu. Untung dapet Enzo.
Mati nih Sage-nya. Wah, untung.
Gak Sage benang malah. Alfajar 1. Masalahnya itu AWP lagi.
Bangke Adriano.
Ngawur ini orang sumpah. Kalau ini kebanting atas sih ngawur sih. Menang bisa menang ya.
Terus tapi ini
Huge for Fnatic. And a 1v2 ain't easy. And they aren't showing their hands right now. Eventually has to close towards the site. It didn't do what it needed. You can see him still waiting this one out, and Boaster has no idea, but he's actually gambled this the right way.
Kenapa lu madep sana? Kan lu dari sana. Kenapa lu madep sana? Wah, dia ekspektasinya terlalu tinggi aja. Dikiranya bakal muter.
Pikiran orang guys ya.
Waduh.
Kadang.
ini lo sakit banget, Cuk.
Vamos. Gila tuh mouse-nya jauh banget Bang Ki.
Jimpik gue panik. Gue panik nih, Pik.
Mas kau di.
Turunlah Derke nggak bisa TP lu situ.
Dapat 1 Bangke.
Jadi Pep bang.
Di pick berempat.
Alpha has been good at finding a couple of these kills. We've seen a lot of the rounds, even when they've gone to the wayside, finding 2-3 kills here and there. First couple of openers as well. Not like he's having a quiet series, but again, the collective for Furia looking so on the money. And a similar look this round, just kind of this longer extended.
Dia orang maksa buy-nya gitu loh, kayak nge-buy Guardian next round-nya pakai half armor, sekarang pakai half armor. Dia orang jarang banget pakai armor penuh anjir ini. Fnatic. Iko-nya Iko tanggung.
Telat rider, Cuk.
Record.
TP deket banget lagi dia. Rotate lagi.
Oh, it wasn't pretty, but it gets the job done. Couldn't get the follow-up though. 15 seconds, they're starting to drown under the time here, and Boaster waiting on the back lines. This could be huge. Hunter's Fury.
Nah, nggak ada waktu. No time.
Should be enough here, Enzo. Doing as much as he can and may have just bailed them out in this round.
Derke nggak usah ngepick.
But the time has run
No time.
down.
Udah.
To fight another day here.
Lah, nggak punya senjata loh dia, Vic.
Iya. Udah mati ya?
Enggak. Masih pengen pakai Baki lagi dia, Vic. Lagi seneng Baki dia, Vic. Loh, ini malah untung loh Enzo ada ulti bener. Ulti Enzo menyelamatkan, guys. Ditambah si siapa tuh? Boaster. Nge-hide anjir. Dibuang bakinya,
Dibuang
mending,
bakinya.
mending mati tadi,
Oh.
asem. Nice.
Untung ada itu.
Yalah, Fnatic.
Untung ada.
Jangan buat rungkat. Lihat tuh, Sage aja masih pakai half armor. Padahal dia bisa beli full, anjir.
Ngawur. Dah,
Ngerti.
tembak-tembakan aneh nih.
Degezin motong lagi. Aduh.
Degesin situ.
Aspek sih.
Tanya.
Lupa.
Di cover meneh.
Iya, 3 cover cakep banget, Cok.
Drifty, enggak Drifty ada yang beli ya.
Wah, si CallMeKYY sih ngawur anjir.
Kita anjing.
We just need a Furia like thrifty round highlight package after this.
Lihat tuh,
Momentos.
kalah sama Serip lagi manjat tali orang dua, anjir.
Another delete mod moment. Honestly, that really is.
Tenang banget anjing.
That was absolutely.
Bahan ajaib.
And it completely blows this round wide open. They get so deep towards site again.
Bayangin, Pik.
Nano Swarming actually pushes
Pandal lagi manjat tali aja nggak gitu harusnya, Pik. Ini Serip manjat tali, Pik, sambil lompat dapat
Tapi
2.
kalau Vandal nyepres, dia ambil lompat emang susah sih, Pak.
Ya, Serip emang enggak.
Kan dia bisa turun terus pasin.
Wangi.
Wow.
Lumayan 1. Wah, rungkat, Bang.
Iya nih rungkat nih. Aku serapnya, aduh, dapat 2 lah harusnya. Cakep.
Walah, malahan itu yang dapat 2, Bang.
Iya.
And I still am just stunned and in awe at this entire game. So is he.
Last year actually gets the first. Down to 20 HP though. Standing ahead. Expecting a little more discipline from Furia to not let this one.
Did he see a blind? I think he did, and so it ain't over yet. There's still a couple of seconds and
They're places.
Enzo's surely not gonna know what he does. Furia, can you bloody believe it?
Get this man off the ropes.
Please.
Seriously, just get him away from all the ropes.
Wah, rungkat Bang Ki, mapmu, map 1-mu.
Rungkat.
Gede banget lagi.
This is an elimination game. This is Icebox, it's Fnatic. I can't say it enough times. We're not meant to be here.
I started this with
Wah, itu kok bisa dapat 2 lah dia itulah. Sama-sama lompat dari tali lagi.
Let's just think about that for a second here.
Nice.
One of the biggest upsets we've ever seen. Quite genuinely.
Fnatic got some tools to throw at this. The Viper's Pit, the lockdown, the res for Mystic, who, by the way, just somebody that can usually shine as bright as this. He's had a fantastic.
Degezin AWP Fik, ente nggak Fik? Lihat Bang, kamu lihat lah. Dia orang habis eco, tapi armornya 25 semua.
Iya.
Dari tadi anjir. Dari pertama loh. Ikonya iko tanggung beli Guardian gitu, pede banget. Anjing, ME-nya cacat anjing, region cacat. Gak tim Liquid, gak Fnatic, tukang nge-throw. Gak yakin aku dia bisa menang 12 ini. Gak pernah menang.
Map 2 Bang Ki, malah bisa kalah loh ini. Fnatic.
Soalnya Fnatic gak pernah round streak ini dari tadi. Kayaknya kalau habis menang ya udah gitu, menang 2 kali terus kalah round. Kalau udah 12 gini ya udah susah. Nah, ini NZR aja bakal dapet nih. Boosternya cacat. Armor setengah.
By any means, the lockdown's going to come in, the res comes out, Fnatic will take no chances here, and probably rightly so. Two still standing.
Full 2v5 here. Noted at least some utility use here from Arzine, but it's going to take a miracle to convert this one.
They need such a fumble from
Yellow
Fnatic.
satu.
So hard to try and maybe determine the outcome when back to the wall. You have no room to really play within this. Mazin just spraying him wildly, not getting what he wants. The wall's in place. Secure that body block if they have to. They'll do whatever's necessary. They're trying to take him down with a defuse. It's there. Fnatic far from done. Still standing. Three make it through the
Bisa-bisanya Mazin dapat 2 kayak gitu. Fuck.
Little life in them just yet. Both still got the Viper's pit.
Bisa beli cek.
Other side of things, Khalil. Let's have his as well. Should be able to get a comfortable purchase here.
Nah, malah jadi armor kecil-kecil lagi. Lah, wes. Turu, Dek.
Just looking at the scoreline here, I think Furia is still going to have another. Fnatic have to
3 dong armor kecilnya.
guessing the next really, and actually a timeout coming through. It's going to be interesting where the where the money's going to lie in around. Fnatic come through and win this.
Itu ada 600. Oh, itu duit awalnya ya.
Now I'm starting to have flashbacks for Furia were held on map point for so long in the opening map. We keep referencing that, but
I mean, sometimes the last one's always the hardest round to get. I feel like this entire game feels like an absolute fever dream.
I think that one was a little more drastic than the scoreline we got here, but saying it's happened recently.
Michael, they wouldn't. No, they'll close out the game. Fine. But Fnatic have every chance. A couple of them activate here. I've got to say it as well, because I mean, normally Durka is the man on the screen there.
Dia time out, gua the range.
Yeah, absolutely.
Failing about a couple of rounds, especially on the attacking side as well.
I mean, even actually with Monster having a horrendous start to the first half, and not even through misplays, just being the one to ultimately be swung on 35 seconds into a no contact
There's
round.
nothing you could do about that.
It wasn't him mispositioning, overstepping anywhere, but he was getting slapped about in ways that you wouldn't really expect anybody to in such a deep default. But he's recovered really well.
Fnatic feeling brave. Having a little look for that first look, but are going to be backing away. This time, no initial first blood draw.
Kalau ini menang bisa sih masih. Kalau ini ya. Oke.
Ya, kalau ini menang, Vic.
First time I've seen Furia stack up and commit to this A presence.
Per ulti.
Durka, you can see actually suppressed it. A lot of utility invested towards him. He's dug out immediately.
Instantaneously. You can hear the ult go through Mystic. This
No
man
way,
is on
Mystic.
a mission. It's incredible.
Udah masukin.
Cakep Mystic.
Mystic keeping Fnatic.
Lah, tapi Al-Fajrnya malah
It ain't over yet.
jadi 2 lawan 3 lagi. Wes.
One is down. Tour de force is popped. Furia want this one done. They want out of here. And the man on the screen, 23 kills to his name. Do any more for his side. Trying to allow any chance to cross to the site. Popping the Viper's pit to do so.
It's so
And
far off
Mystic.
the spike though.
It is, but he's taken a couple of steps forward. Mazin, no idea where he's gone to at this moment. Mystic's still there, close by his side.
Wah, kelihatan senjatanya.
Seen him.
Dapat Mystic.
He's found another. It's 3. And now a 2v2 for the time side to take a booster. He sees one. He gets the tag. He can't get the frag. A booster on 1 HP. Anything more can this man do?
Tolol.
Furious.
Aduh bangki, ente bangki.
Rungkat, guys.
Tapi 2-1 masang toh, Fnatic.
Masang.
Udah dapat nih kali 4 toh.
2,5 aku.
Worried, but what a performance here.
Pas masang aku tinggal kali 3,5 tadi.
Oh iya.
Oh.
Oh, aku masih 4. Santai bangki.
Apa?
Tapi tak seremnya map 2-nya Furia, Cuk.
Kalau map 2-nya Furia aku rungkat, bener-bener rungkat. Kalau map 2-nya Fnatic, terserah map 3-nya mau siapa, aku masih tetap balik, masih ada balikannya
Balik
lah.
ya?
Minus sedikit.
Kita lihat. Tapi ini kalau map 2 menang Fnatic, map 3 aku beli Fnatic sih, tak tambahin lagi. Kalau ya.
Kalau enggak, rungkat bang.
Rungkat ya. Untung udah tarik 50 tadi. Kenapa bang?
Bangsa, nah, itu lompat-lompat niruin booster lo.
Memang dari tadi udah lompat-lompat itu. Lompat-lompat doang kagak menang.
Enggak, Furianya niruin booster lo bang.
Oh dia niruin.
Akankah? Terjadi kersat tadi.
Ya aimnya tajam, map 2-nya breeze, wes.
Bentar, tak bikin kopi bentar bang.
Yo, iya bang. Let's go.
Kok Drensku cacat banget ya? Astaga.
He's got the cool hand. He's always good for a few kills, but in most cases, he'll get that ace for you when you need it.
I love it.
Coba aim lab dulu deh, guys.
I love the fact that Boast is trying to warm himself up to that exact same.
Tangannya ada kaku, guys.
Point out things like this is all great. This is fancy footwork if you want to call it that.
Enlock sekarang diperbarui terus.
Kenapa?
My worry increases
Diperbarui
probably
terus.
40-fold, 100-fold, whatever fold you guys can give me. That's where my worry is currently at.
All the folds.
All of the folds.
Wah, lab putaan install malah ngawur. Berapa giga sih download MLab?
What is this FOV?
Oh man,
It's pure fish
Minecraft.
eyes.
It's Minecraft FOV. That's what this
The
is.
sound effect helps as well.
MLab ini lumayan 4 giga ya?
You're gonna look at Durka.
Bentar,
When I
bentar.
played this map against FBX at Copenhagen, 340 ACS. Here, 197. Pretty much have. But you can't look at Durka being the problem. It's just the idea that they shut him down completely. Like, that's Furia's win condition. This guy can pop off. They know that Alfie is going to be on the killjoy, so it's not like he's playing Raze and going crazy. Shut down Durka, and it gets very quiet for Fnatic. Going on to Breeze, though, what the hell is going to happen there? You see a lot of teams running into Jet or Chamber. Durka could play both. The last time we saw Fnatic play on this map, they had Brave and Magnum on their roster. Two completely different players. What do they do with Alpha?
I think they'll let Alpha pew as Alpha rightly should.
Kita ngikutin meta, guys. Meta ngoplak-ngoplakin tangan.
Talking about a sentinel, we're talking about much more
And
supportive.
there were moments where even Pansy had pointed out, like, I think they got the lockdown, and there were two guys just stunned, and you could see Alpha just like,
Malah kayak orang gila.
I can't go. I kind of have to be
Go
here,
play
but I
the
got to do
killjoy.
this, and that's the kind, you know, that's what we're talking about here, and
Tapi kayaknya memang tanganku kaku sih, makanya Drensku cacat bener.
distinct.
Pegel tanganku.
Capek
Capek.
juga Bang Ki.
In fact, this is a brand new territory. They never stepped foot on this playground. This is not
Bener, tanganku kaku banget ini.
find yourself in.
This is unreal.
Been avoiding Breeze this whole time, and
Then you float it, and you might be the one
It's a
floating
trap.
afterwards.
oh man.
It has to be a trap, though. Like,
You think?
especially when you look at all of the top teams in the world, no team has a permaban anymore.
Okay.
It's only been Fnatic
Is
permaban.
Fnatic a top team in the world anymore?
I
They
think
have
so,
to
but
be.
even
Konsolnya BBM. Masa nggak pulang?
Masa Drens medium aja cuman 2-2 anjir.
On Breeze, he plays Jets,
Okay.
which is quite interesting. But again, like the last time they played CQ, they beat TVP's.
Bikin DO.
Belum mulai kan ya?
Ya, ini mau mulai.
Furia can do the impossible. Close it out right here. Let's send it back over to High Pocket Pandy, who levels them to overtime.
Yeah, I guess screw us for loving our jobs, maybe. Who doesn't love OTs? Anyway, we do get to now look at what the hell just happened in that Asian leg.
Oh, udah mulai guys. Kita nonton dulu ya.
Nah, satu dulu.
So headhunter down towards Chief.
Gue memang nggak bisa gue range sampai 30 sampai.
And they'll be happy enough with this.
So you're looking to re-peek onto this, and Dirk is happy to receive it. Well, Fury gonna keep their heels into the current formation as I think Fnatic are anticipating a little bit of aggression behind this first blood. Solid control through elbow towards B as well. The timing actually almost disastrous for Durka there, just turned his back. And actually, Boaster's the one to fall.
Guys, ini emang setan.
Did he hear the steps? Here's a lovely shot for Alpha. Gap killed there, but the movement's key. Alpha just running rings around him. Still alive, keeping his life safe. Durka there to make sure he's kept safe as well. Khalil goes down. So very nicely done so far. You can see the kind of craft work behind this, what they're trying to achieve a little here. Now, 2 players remaining on the other side. Difficult to find a way in now.
Yeah, happy to put himself on the line here, but quickly dealt with. Actually, a 2v3 presented here for Furia as well. Dirk, I think, just inside range of his TP here, but actually does get the hell out of dodge. Got a chance here. The aftershock going to come through, and actually misread a little bit here. Mystic will pick up the kill on the back of it. It should be a formality.
Clean.
Not there's anything left to say here. I'll just damage remove some of these pistols, but only classics in the hands of Enzo and Durka regardless. Fnatic to post the pistol round here. Initially a little concerning, similar thing to what we talked about on Icebox, with Boaster falling a little ahead of that regroup towards one site. Losing some of that utility, but beautifully mitigated by Alpha. Actually, great reactive use of the fault line as well from Mystic, and that's something that even here in the pistol round to see it set up, whether or not Mystic's
Fnatic gak pernah menang lawan Brazil.
From some of these site hits just to get a deeper fault line back towards, the back of 8 site behind Pyramid. Now on Alpha to burst onto site.
Constantly just enjoying how they want to try and activate Alpha here in this, how they're going to try and bring him in on this map. And of course, is there a response for Fury? On their feet quick enough here to deal with this already. You can see the issues about to begin. All of the site's been just completely wrapped up. But okay, maybe not so wrapped. Enzo's gone down. Yet to fully make their entrance out of main, there's still some problems here. So 2 players still playing. Didn't get the full picture, but Boaster can at least pry out one of the players who's keep the information free flowing. But there is that one player close, and I do see that shorty. I'm still a little worried about that.
Vandal 2.
Rifles in the hand.
Al-Fajr Vandal full armor guys.
Yeah, a lot of punches. Purchase and again trying to make a mad play with the shorty, but handled this time around.
Waduh.
I mean, we say that. I just keep getting a little nervous because it's 37 seconds. The pawn should come in. And look at what they've got remaining. I guess there is that recovered Marshall, so that's something. Doesn't get much for it.
Untung armormu gak rusak Al-Fajr. Booster juga.
And definitely something I want to see cleaned up on this map is these anti-Fnatic, right? As they were so problematic on Icebox, and Furia really able to I mean, run away with a couple of rounds that they had absolutely no right to have a say in, let alone win or do some damage.
Yeah.
They were actually closing them out. Even some post-plants, they were retaking on thrifty rounds.
It seems unthinkable to kind of roll my mind back to it, but you're right. So something to check on as we go through this game, I guess. But the bonus, I mean, look at this purchase, Mike. It's looking pretty even, honestly.
That was close too, yeah. Bulldog in the hands of Durka.
Revealing area.
Now for straight up middle, I'm liking this. The pace. This could be something. Let's see if Furia can keep up with this. I mean, Brazilian team synonymous with it normally, but the 1-for-1 trade out. Alpha still standing. Huge follow-up, and he already predicts that player towards CT. Takes a boatload of damage though. Gets denied any springboard, but the site's now going to be taken. Boaster catching that lurking towards middle, punishing anyone trying to filter back through towards site. And the last two players tunneled and funneled through towards CT.
What a beautiful setup for this split as well, with the fast lane and then the Viper wall being invested from mid here. Real pace change from Fnatic.
Last player
See
standing.
2 left to find Khalil will fall. Do any damage here. We can remove some of these, force the repurchase, but Fnatic going to make that very difficult for him. The timing just not there.
Wrapped, and it is. And again,
Awal yang
how many
bagus.
opportunities do we get of Fnatic here? Because I feel like map 1 has certainly now amplified the Fnatic do need to be bringing out big game, right? This isn't, can't coast this, can't keep anything in the pocket for deeper run. You're already being challenged here in the elimination of the group stage, so there is nothing to be left behind now.
Well, I think that's a little appetizer maybe for this being the ace up the sleeve, right? A little execute
Absolutely.
like this is some of the things that, you know, some of the magic that Fnatic were famed for so early on. How many of those do they have up their sleeve though?
That's what I want to see. Genuinely, I'm quite interested because, as we've said, they have been specialists. They've been able to carve out maps for themselves. They've been back in the lab for some time. And if this is what they've created, what they've cooked up, really exciting to see. And for Furia, a tough lesson to learn here potentially. But for now, we talk about those anti-egos, keeping them clean, trying to mitigate the danger, navigate around it. This is another test for Fnatic here. Already, swiftness, Alpha, this is perfect. Love seeing this man get activated on the stage. We didn't get to see the best of him before, but this was one of the straight up rookies of the year in my mind who came in and absolutely dominated online. Now we maybe get to see him put into position to frag out.
Leading the charge for Fnatic here. Mark comes through.
Planted.
2 members of Furia left to find. Hit pretty early, 67 HP, so I don't want to see him give away a weapon here, but should be able to keep this in check. Spray. That's when you hope nobody's watching, but
Player standing.
formality at this point. One return onto Alpha, yeah, and just a matter of time. Mystic going to clean things up now. 3 standing once again for Fnatic, so should give them a little buffer now for the finances. Some of these ultimates about coming online for Fnatic as well. Beautiful round for Alpha, yeah. Confidence here in the anti-eco as well.
And
We put this one in the replay.
And I think for me, it's seeing them come off the back of probably quite a stunning loss. You know, to pick themselves up.
Iya, no está
Massive boost, I'm sure, for Alpha here after a relatively quiet map 1. He wasn't terrible. He was just kind of middling of his performance. This is good to
He's
see.
played out of that game, to be honest.
He was. He had no problem playing.
Kenyataannya 13-0. Kenapa nggak map 1 loh yang menang itu?
Evolution on that first hit.
Ya bang.
Actually, the ping could be the deciding factor, but Alpha, yeah, still gets the turn. Lands the headshot, and 3 members of Fnatic positioned outside double doors.
Kok putus-putus suaramu, Bang?
Site here for Furia.
Punya puding. Aku lagi download, pantesan dari tadi aku nge-lag nggak ada suaranya.
Perfect split towards his 3 players coming in through from CT, but again the cross is really the only contested.
Halo.
And one of the shots hits, but the rest all
Halo,
fail
Bang.
parlously as Fnatic make their way towards the site. Need to recover the spike, and Mystic gonna keep things safe towards
Halo.
CT.
Halo.
There's just one left standing.
Masih nge-lag ya, padahal udah full limit loh.
Fortunate position to be in, really.
Bentar, limitnya tak kecilin
Against
lagi.
Fnatic, and the plant gonna come down. This is lovely, Mike. And again, Mazin might do some damage here, but I really want to expand on that little adjustment.
Udah mulai normal nih.
Seeing
Pantas nggak ada suara, guys. Lagi download. Kenapa nggak map 1 bang yang kayak gini mainnya bang?
Kalau map 1 apa namanya Fnatic yang menang, kelar Bang Ji 2-0.
Masalahnya aku gedenya di map 1. Kampret 40, cok.
players.
Permainan bandar ini Brasil ini.
Kambing.
Shut down Boaster and Alpha yet.
And as it stands, I want to see a timeout for Furia. They need to get some sort of grip on this game because it's spiraling out of control. And I feel like they've just been absolutely blown out of the water, completely stunned by what Fnatic are bringing.
Gara-gara map pick-nya itu map 1 Fnatic langsung tak kencang buru-buru tadi.
Not what you expected. There's a real lack of prep here, right? And like I said, it's Fnatic.
Pick accept gimana ya kok?
Kok nggak berani tapi?
Iya nggak berani sih, serem sih.
Mending buat besok kalau ini dapat nanti. Sisanya soalnya sisa
ya?
dikit bang.
Prak ya?
Besok paper rek lawan Liquid.
You're absolutely right. And how many times we used to refer to them all as mad scientists, right? They'd come up with this brand new formula. They'd try and create something.
Tidur di jalan.
Mau ke Jogja aku besok pagi.
Oh alah.
Bisa tidur lah sekalian.
Ngawur. Wah gede Liquid odds.
Because this does change how the tournament may go on.
It's elimination game, so yeah, if they've got it, you damn sure you're gonna pull it out, yeah.
Yeah, for them though, this is all to be seen, and this sends a big message to the rest of the tournament though. If they make it out of this
Al-Fajar ngamuk guys.
make sure this is not in the map pool anymore. We need to remove this away from Fnatic.
Besok jam berapa tau? Jam 7 ya Bang Ki?
Jam berapa tadi ya? Harusnya nggak jam 7 deh, soalnya nggak 3 match kan, jam 9.
Oh iya, jam 7 nggak ada ya?
Nggak ada, cuma 2 match toh. 9 sama 12, 9 sama 12, 9 12, terus 9 12 terus. Ini Oktober ada apa ini? Oh ini ya, apa namanya? Cewek-cewek. Oh bang, cewek-cewek. Alter Ego LST spam bang, sumpah.
Udah, Alter Ego.
Kemarin lah, belum tahu sih. Harusnya Alter Ego LST spam bang, bener. Walaupun kecil menang terus bang. Cuman sekarang nggak tahu ya. Itu belum pernah kalah blast loh Alter Ego LST loh.
Iya. Anak thrifting ya.
Thrifting.
Nowhere safe to plant. Enzo's dead. Mystic needs a miracle. He needs something here. 3 players with very complementary angles for each other, and so little safety for him.
Wah emang time outnya di orang ini, time outnya bener-bener time out anjir. Ayo, panik, mulai panik adik-adik. Mystic akankah dia mengeclutch melawan 2 Marshall dengan darah 23?
Aduh mati nih.
Lah, malah maju kayak Vicky wes.
Won't really benefit too much in terms of the economy, and actually looking at that, I think the roll did come out there.
Aku belum masukin motor.
See how it lies for Fnatic after that, but beautiful conversion. Again to shut Alpha down there. Boaster unfortunately just slipping ahead of Bricks here. Gets punished for it. Actually, yeah. Fnatic come out of this with the Viper's Pit and the Tour de Force still available. The other side of things, Blade Storm and the Viper's Pit. A couple of these players from Furia having a slower start here, considering what was 5-0 scoreline on Icebox. Everybody firing on all cylinders previously. It's another set piece.
Yeah, it certainly is straight through the door. And look at the speed on this. The combination of the back of the Neon to the Viper wall, giving them so much ability to just close the gap, even on a map like this, but still need to land the shots, and Khalil still stands. Gonna get the 1-for-1 trade out. Durka will trade back through into this. The site's theirs. So already good work for Fnatic. They'll be happy enough with this.
Spike planted.
Bosa's got to be careful here. Actually does get cleared, but Marzin will fall. It's a huge kill to find. Durka will find one elsewhere as well. And a comfortable post plant now for Fnatic.
They'll be chuffed with this. Shouldn't have too many threats. Operator in play as well, yep. That's going to be trying to be kept, but again, this is what I like seeing from Fnatic. We're seeing varied looks now, and Mike, the utility work coming out between, I guess, it's really Alpha and Boaster at the start of things, coupled with that breach. it's so hard to handle. It's so tailor-made to just somehow carve up one of the most long-range maps.
Yeah, it is, and like I said, the investment of the fault line actually allows, with these splits coming through mid, on the back of this fast lane that goes on the right side of Pillar, Althea can get all the way towards, backside, behind Pyramid to make use of these fault lines. So there's very few places that Furia probably feel like they can play comfortably, right? I mean, there's only really the TP, maybe the dash from Marzine as well, to kind of get out of those sorts of spots, but it makes setting up for these executes very, very difficult. And obviously on Breeze, it's even harder to rely on retakes. It's one of the hardest maps to retake either side sometimes.
Yeah, it's a nice theory crafted piece.
There.
The problem being, Fnatic keep finding first bloods off of this as well. So just off the very basics of some of these executions, it already puts Fury at a disadvantage very early on. And there's another one.
Yeah, it's looking so easy. And look at the damage done as well. Forced away instantly. Fnatic are just flying through this map. This is huge for them. Needing this after what was a very stark, bitter map 1.
A wake-up call.
Yeah. Showing such signs of life, playing as 5, loved that, just waiting for the swing out over towards B, punishing Mazin on that first contact, and then just spiraling towards the site.
When you look at what worked on Icebox, it was Furia's ability to get ahead of some of these setups, but the pace is totally different here from Fnatic. I mean, Spike Plant's coming through before we've hit 122 on the clock. That's with 2 kills coming through as well, which Fnatic traditionally aren't a very fast-paced teams. And so in terms of these executes, they're usually kind of mid-rounds after they've done these kind of fact-finders and figured out exactly how the defense are playing. Then they have very solid, well-choreographed executes, right? Fnatic aren't usually the ones to have somebody bursting through spawn barriers and challenging immediately. So Furia are going to really struggle to set up. And then the questions come. We're playing against Fnatic, right? How deep is the strat book? How many of these executes have they got?
And how many variations on them? Again, because you may learn, like, okay, when they do X and Y, these pieces of utility, this is the response. It's so hard to then adjust on that if they do have a slight adjustment.
They haven't got time to react off some of these indicators at all.
Because Alpha's he's on the doorstep in a second's time. And it's good to see Alpha kind of used this way. I feel like we hadn't seen him fully unleashed on people yet, but this is the first time we're really seeing him being propped up on, set into motion, and once again, this is a little bit of a different look here. He's trying to maybe hold him at the door. Nice underhand flash does slow down the hit, but can they somehow deny this? The purchase is far from good as well, and now you can see the layers to this. Still doing damage, Khalil still standing. You can at least deny a little bit of this early work, but again, Furia, so little room on this site.
Itu dikira Mbak Dewi komen ngaji sih begitu tuh. Iyalah tuh. Kena fitnah gara-gara kucing.
A Rolling Thunder and Hunter's Fury have to address the backline, and Marzine's here actually will remove one of these pieces.
Enggak lah, nggak ngomong, aku malu.
That's a big shot, and they knew where Mystic was.
Wah, wani.
That ultimate could be an issue, and it has to be addressed
Panas
at the right time here.
gua.
A tap on the spike, Mystic, surely his mind starts to wander. Tries to deal with it now, gonna try and pull him away. Mazin found him though, and the timing of the pinch is lovely.
Ultinya keluar.
Mystic's been playing a lot of these early rounds in Tube, when they're looking towards these mid splits or even that. The flash comes through the floor of Tube to actually set them up through double doors.
So even,
and it's little pieces like that there can be somebody in position to enable
Fake.
that sort of push immediately.
Kalau nggak ada suara sih, Fik?
Can find a comfortable flash.
Yeah, you're right.
The flash comes
Ada, cowok, ada.
Wow.
Mana diem aja kok, cuek.
Watch a Fnatic execute 3 or 4 times, then notice one little piece or positioning or something. It's like, yeah, okay.
You've really thought that
hats
through,
off,
huh?
Minnie. Yeah, well played, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's been, as I said, in the lab cooking
So
up
I was thinking he's going up
treats.
Tube to find, fault lines to backside.
Sure.
The flash is actually beautiful.
It's really nice. It's quite an enjoyable game to watch in such a different way to map 1. This is such a stark contrast. Looks like Dirk this time going on exploration mission. And for Furia, I feel like how you ever meant to learn this. I mean, you need a game in hand almost to watch.
Di Xbox Game Pass nggak mau masukin Assetto Corsa kah?
Actually quite impressive they got this far. Dirk loses a little bit. Yeah, he's dead. Yep.
Aduh.
So that's going to be a big component removed here.
Ada game baru yang lagi apa? Ping Legend atau?
Oh, Great Legend.
Expect him to be looking for a pick elsewhere, create a little bit of pressure in that lurking position. No rotation comes out from it though.
Hah?
Furia feeling.
Bang, download bang. Wih.
Wow, this B site hold.
Bang.
Standing the test.
Halo.
Jump spot that's keeping it all together.
Waduh.
That's it. There's the contacts we made. may have noted Alpha here on the way in. Aldron to follow, but he's already on the side. He's already on the back lines. You can't slow this guy down. He's just a speed demon. Boaster's found one as well.
The snake bite landed on his TP. He TP'd off the top pillar and died to the snake bite. What?
Come on. Come on. This is unthinkable scenes. Alpha fully blind, should get swung on here, so the retake is on. There is still a chance this, but you got the Viper's Pit now to try and navigate through.
Able to get a lot of information here, clear it out very early on, but they have to come in and challenge the Vipers. Mystic finds the
Oh!
second two.
Gorgeous from Mystic. He's actually got it right. So they find him in time. Is it Mystic with 3? Patrolling on the other side, just being given nothing. Time now starts to be the biggest opponent in these seconds that are just ticking away. And Fnatic, I've got to say it, I am bloody impressed with this.
It's beautiful to watch.
Wow.
Really beautiful. I mean, not unless you're a Furia fan, because there's not an awful lot you can do about some of these executions.
Degazin ngapa itu? Discord putus-putus lagi anjir.
So hard to even contest first.
Bang Arko.
Oi, Panggi.
Great Legend toh.
Bagus, Pak.
Wani toh. Aku malah
Emang bagus.
Hah? Bagus.
Bagus, Pak.
Tapi agak arcade ya.
Bisa online.
Bisa.
Tapi Xbox-ku habis ya, ntar langganan dulu.
Aku juga ya habis, aku beli. Soal kalau Xbox Game Pass aku ada, cuman EA-nya yang nggak ada.
Alpha is set into motion by all that utility put into play. Imagine trying to deal with this.
Nice.
It's necessarily a bad idea, but Fnatic still get 2. They still carve their way into the site. Spike's gonna be going down. I'm pretty sure uncontested here. Nothing to stop this or slow it down.
Fnatic, aku malah lemes kok, Vic, walaupun menang kayak gini mah nggak map 1 kayak gininya kok.
They keep actually committing to these opening duels without really any sort of tangible setup. There's
Ya begitulah.
Ya begitulah.
Again, it's just so difficult. It's overwhelming. Once more, you see that flash come through, like I said, from Mystic to make sure Alfia's got safe passage. The wall goes up, cuts off everybody that's in front of it. Fnatic can just rinse and repeat, honestly.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen Furia really come up with a game plan at all.
This is something that you need to study these sorts of odds to be able to come up with to counteract this.
And there is slight irony in seeing Furia the ones punished by such aggression. That name is so synonymous with aggression, well constructed aggression too, not just kind of running it down, but 9-2. This is one for the VODs. This is one to pour over, one to really enjoy going back through and really trying to break down all the bits and pieces towards us. I'd have liked to have seen potentially Furia trying to take extremities and putting a lot of commitment behind it over towards main, pushing out towards A main potentially, trying to challenge towards cave, maybe having to give up site. I'd like to see them try and adjust, but I can't really blame them for being just stun-locked by this.
But you look at what worked well for them was understanding what Fnatic were doing.
Nggak gitu, Vic. Nggak usah gitu, Vic. 2 orang kan lo lawan, Vic. Lo lawan 2 orang lo, Vic, kayak gitu, Vic. Bener. Enggak.
Both sides of the map.
Yeah, both sides.
Kedua ini.
Again,
10-2
say, yeah, okay, take cave
it's all
control.
encompassing.
Yeah, but you just got to beat Durka with the operator. You got to get past some of the best players in the world who are holding pretty strong positions, and it's a formality at 10-2. Fnatic are very much in form here, Mike. This has been.
Wah, FIFA aku juga udah habis yang di Steam, asem. Nggak bisa main FIFA nih kita.
Xbox.
Terpaksa kita beli Xbox Game Pass lah. Padahal aku cuma butuh EA-nya doang.
Yang family plan belum ada ya?
Tahu belum ada ya?
Itu enak tuh Bang, kalau bisa ramean kan kita lebih murah.
Iya.
Oh boy, we got a party now. You love to see it, man. 10-2, Fnatic dominating, and Jess, just have, how you feeling?
I'm feeling okay.
Miha, you're good?
Yeah. I may have said something before we started this match.
Bold proclamation.
Apa? Mobile Legend?
Yeah, I decided to, predict Furia because, they demanded respect after map number 1. And I was like, why not carry that momentum into map number 2? Turns out I'm wrong because there's a particular man who's absolutely ripping them apart. Alfier on the Neon, I love it. Maybe he hasn't had necessary debuts on the Neon in an international stage that has wowed us thus far, but this one does wow us, and it has oomph to it. And it's also important to note that for him personally coming in here, look at how he performed. I said maybe it wasn't the best. 270 is still good. It's not exceptional for a Neon player overall average, but look at the first half here on Breeze, definitely stepping it up in multiple departments, which is his job, it's his role. And he's given Furia a taste of their own medicine that they delivered an Icebox. Now he's packaged it all up and put it on a teaspoon and said, here you go, give that a try.
I'll say for the next half, though, sort of Hypo put it perfectly. This is one to watch back to see everything that Fnatic do. I'm curious of where Mystic is going to be on the breach, because pretty much every single kill that we saw from Alpha getting those Neon picks was off the back of a flash or an aftershock put in a player from Furia. Yeah, he has been exceptional today, and I think it's just going to be interesting to see where a breach can play on the defense, whether it's over towards B to stall out, but you've got the Viper there, or to go for holes. For Furia, I sort of pointing out like Kalu, you want him to sort of step up, but he's really struggling so far. Expectedly so. They weren't expecting this kind of comp, and Fnatic maybe wanted to show this off a little bit later. Now Sean Garris is watching this and like, I know what they do now, we might have an answer to it.
That's fair. I mean, if you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, this was a trap card, and it's playing very well in the hands of Fnatic. But let's see if Furia can respond, or will Fnatic force that map 3? Casters, back over to you.
And by all accounts, I do feel as though this surely is going to map 3 here. It needs something catastrophic to happen, Michael. Michael, the odds. They're so unlikely.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
Ooh, it starts with the pistol, right?
OST semua sih, gue pengen liat gameplay anjir.
And I'm intrigued as well. I mean, Ryan makes a good point. It'll be interesting to see how Mystic is applied in the second half as well, whether or not Fnatic are even going to have to rely on a couple of these rounds where he gets very...
Tersokdar, terflash. Teman sendiri.
And that's the spike down. Enzo's found 2 and the spike.
Didn't love the spike being lost there, but I guess a special delivery. Just gonna leave it up towards Tube. That's kind of them. And now the 3 remaining. How are you gonna get that back? You've got site control, yes, but there's the issue.
Just huddled around the spike.
13-2 sini kataku.
Fnatic are probably gonna just really hold this down, aren't they? Furia, what you got? That's a start. That's opened up a chance towards this now. I say a little bit of damage, a lot of damage done. Down to 5 HP. Poster waiting for anyone else to try and make their way up towards the stairs, and 37 seconds.
45 as well, it's not something you really want to try and rely on, but it's back up here in Tube.
30
Khalil,
seconds left.
unnoted as of yet. It's Boaster, the one that should pick this up. He's looking the wrong direction right now.
Step di situ cuman untuk ngebet anjir.
Should have been fine, but Furia are finding their way back in, and it's just on Boaster. 13 seconds though. The spike's already on the site, so that opportunity is stop. But look at the HP. It's only Khalil.
They have no idea where Boaster is.
Spike planted.
But he's got a 1v1. A fair 1v1.
You can just stick this.
He has no idea about that though. He's none the wiser. How would he ever know this? A gamble, maybe. He takes just a chance. A shot in the dark. Boaster not brave enough to do it against
sayang banget. Ke distract sama yang lari di hole di orang tadi. Mystic langsung megang stun gitu.
I just don't think Fnatic make a solid decision. Nobody's, like I said, there's one player playing towards spawn here. They still get somebody completely unnoted swinging through Nest, and then Khalil's able to completely backstab that setup. So it happens, though, right? It all starts with a pistol, doesn't it?
Yep.
It's the same.
That's the same. We'll be fine.
Should be.
I mean, it's Fnatic.
It should be fine. Well, B-side stack here.
Okay, see? Here we go. They'll do lots of damage here, Fnatic.
Some information on the back of the knife as well, actually. Confirming both players.
Still missing. Yeah, Duck is going to find Khalil. And you're feeling a bit worried now at this point, or at least I would be.
Udah dapat 2 dong.
Too many players getting panic-stricken. Now, luckily for them, they've pulled it back slightly, but it's certainly red alert still. Good connection off the headhunter, going to put
Dapat senjata.
And now just 2 left alive for Fnatic, but the damage has been achieved. This is still pretty good damage, but they have been able to back away here.
What can they retrieve, though, in terms of the weapons? I'm not sure.
What got left?
Wah, bulldog lagi mengerikan nih.
Bulldog, yes, but looking at it because it was a very, very frugal purchase from Furia.
Cuman satu yang bawa senjata ya?
Yeah, Mystic unable to get anything other than the classic here, but see what Enzo can get done with the Bulldog. Actually, yeah, you can see already the position in Tube going to give away these audio clues as to where Fnatic are planning to retake from. Yeah, but this scoreline, you want to see all 3 weapons saved across here, so need to try and retrieve this Bulldog and prevent any further damage.
Wah, timingnya nge-scan-nya gitu banget keluar anjir.
They're just in there really saving things though, because that round was getting absolutely out of hand.
I mean, at one point, Marzin's stuck on B side by Pillar with 7 HP.
Yeah.
If he falls there, I mean, it makes the retreat with the
Right.
spike even more difficult.
Yep. Just again, see the absolute bailout that this man put in. Close down the end. Having a great performance, honestly, from map 1 to map 2. Very nice. Here though, Mike.
Wah, map 3-nya Haven menang ini.
Again, this is the first big test, right? If we actually have a game on our hands, or if, you know, map 3 feels really quite inevitable.
They're going to pop off this null command, though. I think they're looking to step
Look at the pace. Straight up tube. They don't need the Neon to do it. They're just going to go for it themselves. Going to open up the door and then switch back around towards main potential. Maybe
full
very
retake.
mobile work coming in from the chamber. Pretty furious.
Going to pin Fnatic in spawn.
This is huge. What a nice site take. Now they still need to get the plant down and kind of get a little bit comfier into the post plant, but
taking a while.
Yeah, a couple more seconds than maybe they'd like. But Spike now down. Let's look at this post plant. What do they have for it?
Nothing really. Actually, even no snake bites for Khalil. Someone's going to rely on this one coming through now.
Full retake dibalas full defense, yes.
Aduh, bednya.
Tim sebesar Fnatic nggak care double door, guys.
Lah.
Wah. Guys, tim sekelas Fnatic nggak expect double door, itu aneh ya.
Apakah terjadi kelas
Bahaya, terus guys.
Like twice as aggressive in some of the rounds where they have half the inventory.
What is this? He was the one who actually boomed it up to. Opens up the doors, dips back out.
Pre-hit dia, Vic, gak ada backup, Vic. Enzo aja gak nembak anjir.
Fnatic pump the brakes and I think they need to.
Soalnya wallnya udah itunya smoke juga udah habis.
Now to play devil's advocate with this comp, you need to do something on defense, right? Because this is where you then start to question. It's always the way, right? When it comes to defense, what can you achieve with the Neon, right? Can you get ahead and really disrupt some of these early setups, especially if Furia are going to spread in the default, which traditionally they do not. But
jadi pengen ngajarin Fnatic gue, Vic. Gimana, Vic? Gue jadi coach aja, Vic.
Gue belum main ini sama coachnya.
Coach Justin.
Haven't really been able to get a solid footing yet in the second half, so I'm not saying it's not there, but these are the sorts of questions then we start to ask with these new comps.
Okay.
Santai betul coachnya.
No, absolutely. I like that question of longevity when it comes to these compositions. Because
you need to see both sides of the coin.
Absolutely, and we did the same when we talked about, you know, even in the early days, talking about, you know, Fracture and the application of Neon there. Does it fully work all the way through? Does it look as good?
Look where they lend. They were getting proactive, and it's always it's always the way to apply this on both sides where teams really find success.
Well, that it does put the marker back with Fnatic to find that, right? Like, again, in this one, they weren't super deadly in their...
Vic ikan, Vic.
Not necessarily force buys, it's a little bit of a purchase. But, you know, a couple of marshals, but...
Lihat, Vic, 4 Marcel, Vic, bang. Walah.
Waduh.
So keep your eyes on the HP on the left-hand side. If you're get
Meta apa ini, Bang?
and look at the stack.
Look at that money start to swell, though.
Mau main AWP kah ini?
Just carrying 3 bulldogs into the previous.
Oh yeah, 6, 4.
Like I said, what's the default? What is the default here? What extremity do you pressure here with Mystic and Althea?
Well, Mazin happy to himself with the first one in.
Meta bang kayaknya nih, Bang, memang, Bang.
Still so many threats here. They're trying to do everything.
Meta, Bang. Meta 4 Marcel, Bang.
Fair enough. And now a 2v3. What has just happened? Left in tatters. Only feeling devastated with this one. 1 bullet left to play with. He loses out on Durka, but Bosa's still alive. 2 kills this time, and they have no idea he's still here. Surely they'll check on this.
He's missed the reposition, though.
Poison's off.
But now he'll heal it. Yep.
Sebetulnya nggak di expect kah?
Nggak expect double door lagi si mediocre anjir.
Gives away the game a little. Does Alpha manage to bail him out? That's the last shot done. He needs to load some more up, but he can't do it in time. And now just Alpha on B2. So much damage.
Expect-nya sambil loncat, Vic.
Kid himself. He needs it. Not gonna get it.
Ya, Vic.
Okay, close.
Ngecek double door sambil loncat, Vic. Diikutin, Vic. Caranya, Vic.
This next buy round is crucial.
Lihat, Bang. Buat apa beli Marcel terus kalah tapi kalau pakai half armor?
Iya.
No, seriously, I am already worried. This next buy round for Fury is huge, and actually on the other side of that, the things we just talked about ahead of this Thrifty round, we have to see it from Fnatic here. But there's no tangible part of Fury is set. It might actually be A main. Look at the setup here. This actually is it through shop.
You have to see this in motion. Over towards A.
He's going to go behind the knife, I think.
Let's have a look towards when they decide to pull the trigger on this. Yes, they're going to take two control again. We've seen this look before.
Langsung ya mereka langsung.
Dip away last time. Doesn't this time and gets punished. That's different. Durka gonna get that first pick, but look at the spot.
Mistik di situ. Tapi spike-nya ke B.
They know the rotation is going to be on the way. They need to get the spike down. They need it down now. Well, they needed it down 30 seconds ago.
They're pressuring spawn.
This is dangerous. They have to take a risk, I guess, somewhere. Otherwise, it's all but done. Enzo's going to find one. Glur's gone down.
It's just ahead of the flash.
Oh, that could have been perfect, but it's far from it. And now they have to back away. You can see the wrap coming in. Fnatic just filtering through the rest of the map. They need an overwhelming win here, a clean fight, and they're not getting it. Fnatic.
Itu doang sih,
Essential round for Fnatic to get to 11.
And it's beautifully done. Again, waiting behind that contact and the knife, almost expecting the knife reveals nothing. Fury going to shift walk.
Ultinya udah ada semua nih di sini.
And immediately, I mean, it happened off screen. You can see it on the minimap. The fault line comes through. Alpha slides all the way through shop. They actually backstab Tube as well, which is so well coordinated. And actually, on the back of that, Boaster, key for him not to give up his life. We're talking about committing very early on to the retake. They find the one-man advantage.
Tembakannya mistik.
You can see Boaster furious to putting a snake bite into main and slowing down any further progress.
Lihat masnya booster gak? Jauh banget cuy itu. Kok mos keyboard?
Jangan sampai ditiru Dipa. Dipa kan bocil niru nih. Kalau udah nyobain kayak gitu nanti keterusan, aduh. Nambah jadi.
It's going to take a little more to reset the economy of Furia, though. We talked about how that did swell two or three rounds ago.
Jangan dicontoh ya, Dip.
The other side of things, ultimates, at least on the brink here for Furia.
Yeah, not super far away. Again, small differences there. You know, the chamber kind of flying up tube again. Durka so quick to respond that time, disallowing that kind of ability to fall away and potentially.
Bawa shell Furia, Vic. Biar apa, Vic? Dikira main bola, Vic.
What other approaches do they have? Because again, I think we've seen Fnatic getting, as I said, a little proactive there. I liked what they tried to do. I'd like to see more.
It's tempered though. It was controlled.
It wasn't just throwing out and seeing what sticks. It was absolutely method to the madness in it. And it was very well timed too. And as you said, Bosa not overcommitting, noting that he could be incredibly.
Enzo si ngedrop guys.
Intentions of what Furia would want to achieve. So we go back in. Timeout coming in this time was for Furia there. So let's see what they've adjusted. It looks like a lot of mid presence apparently.
Curious to see what the next step of this is, with where the knife is invested. A very deep trap placed in shop as well, just to prevent the same thing happening from the previous round. I think Furia fully in the know of how that information was obtained. Dirk actually
lovely switch.
Rawani,
but Zine wisely backs away from it. Very proactive as well from Fnatic to come forward and deal with this trap as well. They don't want any control.
But I like that he's still here, that he didn't get overly hungry for this, trying to maybe work out where that aggression's going to come in, holding mid control, also dealing with the extremities, almost just that little bit of a default testing the aggressive waters that we know Fnatic were leaning into. Knife now going to come in. Does note a couple of players here, but again, Mystic super ready to go, just buying precious seconds here.
Running the clock down effectively. Boaster actually going to find a kill. Muzzy. Alfia should be able to pick up the second as well. He does, just on screen in mid.
Brilliant. And now Furia left with a 3.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure Fnatic are aware of potentially
Boatload
2,
damage
3
done
of the
there for
players.
Boaster, actually.
Yeah. And Mystic with the readjust, so perfect. This is really beautiful work. Khalil's still standing. He's going to at least convert towards Mystic, so it's not completely over yet, but the Owl Drone and everything else trying to pile up against them. Boaster
No
playing
time
brilliantly on
saving
side, being
AWP.
super slippery, hard to pin down.
Nanti
And this should be
latihan
12 for
ini.
Fnatic, really finding their footing here in the second half after a great first half as well. Got a little worried when Furia started to carve a bit of room for themselves, but absolutely quelled.
To finally get to map point. Well, Furia now. Yeah, I mean, you look at a couple of them. I think actually going to be missing a shield or two. We'll have to get the light shields through, but you're absolutely right. Boaster buying so much time there, just being slippery around Pyramid, not really giving anybody a comfortable engagement. They can't really collapse on him either. Really well played between him and Mystic, actually. Do Furia look to dial up the pressure here behind the null command. They might catch Durka early on here, preventing the TP. We'll disable that trap as well. Althea should be caught in radius. Actually, it could be problematic because Durka's actually on the operator as well.
Side take.
Althea bails him
Still
out.
gets Mazin down, and you're right. They get to live to fight another day. Underhand flash will at least get them in towards the site, but they still haven't really cleared these back positions. Durka still fine for this. Can live for a second, hold the line as best he can.
Oh, cakep.
He's not committed. The swing and Durka.
Connect.
Their life, and Fnatic just shutting this one down.
Berarti at least ada yang balik lah duitnya,
There's
guys.
no fun anymore. Trying to play the finest of margins, but the numbers just so overwhelming now. Anything more to be found? Durka does get punished, but the spike's still deep in towards that B site.
Ento's still a million miles away from this as well, so Mystic's got to be careful here. The ball going to go out, actually put Mystic in a position where...
Langsung bakalan bola anjing.
Big shot. Okay, they're not done yet. It's a 2v2. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I you know, underestimated what they could achieve here, but...
30 seconds left.
Pressure on Enzo. He's gotten this close.
Still got across to find the spike though. 20 seconds. The clock is ticking.
The backfield.
Furia under a load of pressure right now, Lauren.
Yeah, Boaster though. Timing on this is everything.
Beautiful.
Could be Divine. He's got one. The trade comes out. So it's down to the 1v1. But Enzo, this man is clutch as hell. So much pressure. Now put towards Furia.
A little misdirection as well. Puts the dart through.
Waduh.
And finds the fourth.
Was that 2v4?
Yeah.
That could be, again, when we look at what can cause problems, that could be a tilter. You don't
Throwing adik-adik.
carve your way through
Yeah,
a
it's a
2v4. They make mistakes.
Eme ya.
They get punished a little here, but
Better
again, this one
terlekai.
was due. Some of these shots were just on the money. Beautifully played.
That's the adjustment there. Like I said, Mystic had a dirty little pocket to play in with that wall.
We could not work out our difference.
Great recovery from Furia.
Yeah.
Don't want to have to watch that one back.
Not loving that at all. 7-12 though. Ult sign a hit, a little delay. We noted it before. They did have those ults really coming through online, and the aggression, the commitment. They're still walking towards cave. The flash is there, just about gets away with his life. But Fnatic looking to tussle now.
Boaster actually will be able to avoid that. On the other side of things though, Mazin tagged up.
Ih, gak dapet dong.
Can't close out the kill though.
Bloody hell. 35
HP.
Again, this mid pressure. They've dealt with that early play towards A, pushing towards cave, but and the late investment from Boaster as well. They are going to kind of cut off B in the options. Oh, and this timing from Mystic could be heaven sent if he peeks over there.
See the pings all the way up tube here. I think Furia are looking to address this.
Yeah.
It's great. Brilliant timing from Mystic as well. Gets to dip away and just picking them off piece by piece. Now they're on the site. They do put their own Viper's picked down, but Alpha, it's a little messy, but he's got the shot. And now numbers massively favorable towards Fnatic.
Boaster might even pick up Mazin here.
Who is who first? Alpha is fallen. As the Fnatic's going to hear this, needs to get there in time. Just losing track of Boaster here as Dirk has found one, so this is coming down a lot into Maskin's hands. And he can't do it! Khalil now the only one left alive! He's going to find a second! He needs 2 more, he's got 12 HP! Boaster catches
nunggu
the
lama-lama.
and Fnatic convert, getting map 2 under the belt.
Ya sambil main aimlab ya guys, sambil nunggu guys. Kan sponsornya aimlab guys.
Couldn't have come at a better time as well. Just like I said, I was so worried about one of those rounds just going. I think we look at a very different outcome here when Fnatic is still held at 10. But luckily, able to get this one across the line. Fantastic performance from Alfier as well. That first half, again, you can see the support system that Fnatic are willing to invest around. And like I said, Mystics, pretty much all of his utility was just to put him in a spot to find these freebies.
And what a player to do it for.
Yeah.
Couldn't imagine setting up a better player. Alfier, we're starting to see that real mechanical form that we loved watching him bring out. Finally seeing that really slip into place here. You got to feel in a weird way for Furia, because I can imagine in their minds, they saw that agent select come in, they're like, oh god, what have we come into here?
And I think as well, this is something that Fnatic actually massively taken the fight to in terms of the first ones. I think it was 14 overall for Fnatic there, so it's not something that usually you see them as an entire team build around. Like I said, we don't usually see these very, very pacey hits from Fnatic. Usually, you know, reactive kind of executions that are very well coordinated, but this is a really, really good look for Fnatic.
I love seeing this, and this should send, you know, echoes throughout the rest of the tournament, depending on who gets to stay alive in here. This map is very much within the map pool of Fnatic, another one of those strongholds, you could say, for them whenever it comes to a veto. However, we do now have to consider map 3. Now, it being Haven, Mike, I'm a little nervous, considering some of the previous results.
I mean, Fnatic got something else they want to pull out here. Like, this one's completely flipped, right? I mean, I was talking about Furia ultimately had to take Breeze to force it because Icebox was almost a given. Now, Haven up in the air.
It certainly is, and that's not for us to decide. It's for the devs to really dive into, so we're going to hand it back over to them in a second.
Of course it goes to map 3. How else is this epic confrontation between two Titan teams supposed to end here as Fnatic pull out the ultimate trump card?
Sheesh.
You know, I don't know, it just went really fast with it.
God, you have the fastest reflexes for a 60-year-old I've ever seen.
It's true, and it's impressive. This is, by the way, all makeup. We have the best makeup team in the business. Okay, everyone, let's go ahead and break this down here. Start things off at the top, Jess, because we knew coming into this that there had to have been some shenanigans, some trickery, and the trickery was that young man playing Alfier playing Neon, and it worked out beautifully on their attack.
I mean, yeah, that first half, he commanded everyone's entire existence at that singular moment. So look at me, look what I can do, and I'm going to command half of the map space in a single click of a button. I love that. The second half, of course, a Dirk's playground. That's what you would expect of a chamber player on that defensive half, but there was just a multiple players here, Ryan, that really stepped up.
Nice to see it from a Breach's perspective, the stun going across, and this flash, as we're about to see from Alpha's perspective, sets him up nicely. This is kind of why the Neon works, so just taking mid control so quickly, it scares any of the defenders away from Nest and Tunnel, but he peeks out just as QCK was flashed. And just all of that utility to take mid to go from there, this was a deadly duo. The best part about this, it takes the pressure off of Durka, which I think was a big struggle for Fnatic on Icebox. He didn't, like, Durka didn't go insane, but he could do his role and not have too much onus on him to be insane and get multi-kill after multi-kill, because these two did exactly what they needed to.
I asked on the pre-desk, or the pre-map rather, whether or not, you know, Fnatic was still a world-class team, especially when we're looking at Breeze. I mean, when you look at this map, are they a world-class dominating team? We had no idea at this point what composition would they run. They got in and showed that they had been working on it, and that is a common denominator of a world-class team is when they work on their map or when they work on their weaknesses. They've done that, and something to note as well, that before we jumped into today's series, out of all of the maps upon which, you know, you get to pick a map, then your opponent picks a map, there's bans and everything in between, but let's say of your first pick, every time a team picks a map in this tournament thus far, there's been 12 occurrences where the opposition have won someone's map pick. Say I'm Fury, and I'll come in and I pick myself a little Breeze and I lose it. Well, it's added to that 12. Now it's 13. And of course, conversely on Icebox, that's made it 14. So now that we go to the decider, really, you don't know where anything sits anymore because the teams are pretty evenly met on both of each other's map picks.
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you mentioned the decider because Haven is a little bit of a tumultuous territory for both teams. If you're just joining us here, what a series you've missed. Go back, watch the VODs, do yourself a favor. Those score lines do not deceive you. The map, Breeze being there, does not deceive your eyes. But we go to Haven here, and both teams, Ryan, have had struggles on this map in this tournament in their previous matches.
Yeah, the part of the series that got these two teams into the lower bracket, they lost pretty hard on Haven. Fnatic lost it 13-7 in the third deciding map against 100 Thieves. And then for Furia, it was a 13-4 loss against DRX. And I think the mental boomage after Ascent was one of the reasons why Furia kind of fell apart there. Now it's kind of like, nah, we kind of fell into that one a little bit, but we're still in this. We've still picked up a map. We can do a little bit better.
Yeah, and even thinking about Breeze, you know, because there was a moment where I looked over and I saw that Pansy was maulding, and she was losing
like on the
her
ground.
mind.
Yeah,
she was
I
on
saw
the
that.
ground. She was actually rolling. It was incredible.
Yeah, she was.
See
She
in
did a
real time.
backflip as well. You didn't see it, but we'll
yeah, I
go
know.
back on it.
It's wild stuff. Incredible that the headset didn't just completely explode. But you know, Furia were bringing it back.
Yes.
Their economy was healthy. It was just that the fact that the lead that was built up by Fnatic was so profound that it was so hard for them to come back. But if you look at that as like a 7-5 potentially, I mean, we could be looking at an entirely different result here, Jess. Like Furia, despite the difficulties they had on that first half, played incredibly well going to the second. Lots to be confident about for Haven.
I think there's something, you know, to be said, especially on the analyst desk. We sit here and we look at a loss, and I don't like to just say, yep, there's a tally in the loss, because you have to give it context. You have to understand how that came to be, and what was the round count. I prefer round differential myself because that gives me a little bit of a better overarching view of what's really going on with the team. I don't think the Haven loss that we just referenced against DRX is indicative of their true Haven. I think in this series now we're getting the full breadth of Furia. We're getting what their full capability is. And are they closer to their ceiling? Yes, absolutely. So I don't think that DRX game is something that Fnatic can reference, I can reference, and the audience should reference about their capability moving on to map number 3.
I do think this swings back towards Furia though, because I think Hypox said it really nicely. Like Icebox, Furia knew what they were going up against with XCOM.
They had
so
a
they
plan.
took it apart. They got to Breach. No idea what they were going to play. Lost pretty handedly because of it. And so now that they go to Haven, I don't think Fnatic would change anything up. You've got Alpha moving over to the Raze, which is his comfort. Mystic still on the Breach here overall. It'll just be curious to see if Fnatic decide to change anything, knowing that Furia have had anti-stratted them, just to throw them off a little bit. Because that's all they need. Just throw off Furia a little bit, and Fnatic will have the series.
Yes, yes. As we had just seen, but the decider, you never really know where you're going to go for that third map. You can kind of, you know, wager a guess, but it's always going to be challenging, right, on both sides. But yeah, I do agree with you there. I do side more, though, with what Jess had said, that this is not the true form. That was not the true form of Furia. Here we are now. I think a lot of us came into this, rightfully so, because of what happened in that DRX game, doubting what Furia is capable of. But at this point now, like Eugene, Mazzy, like these guys have been putting together some exquisite rounds. And if anything, there's opportunity here to maybe pull a rabbit out of your hat, kind of like what we ended up seeing in Breeze if you are Furia, perhaps?
Sure, perhaps. I also like to give a little bit of a, a nod to the fact that we had Fnatic, playing with a couple of the players who are a little bit unwell. So I am, again, going to put the, the just famous asterisks against this and say that particular match where I'm looking down, we've quoted Enzo being one of the best Fade players in the world. Of course, he doesn't have a huge sample rate in international play, but that was a play that we have looked to on the Fade, on this particular map as well. Of course, on other maps, he's been able to rock it as well. He had a pretty abysmal performance.
Latihan ini dulu guys. Latihan aim lab PCT guys.
Yeah, well, we'll see now. I think Prime Gaming Aim Select should be coming up in a moment here. As the
guys.
have taken the stage, they get ready to go. I also have our casters gesturing at me over
It's almost like gives them a little
Unlike our previous event in Copenhagen, where casters and analysts were completely far apart from one another, here in Champions they decided to just put us literally on top of each other. So I can smell Hypox's musk, which, let me tell you,
he has
the
a
man's
banana.
got some scent. He's got some scent and he's got a banana, but let's see, we do have keys to the game, of course, and I like this because I'm actually a keyboard aficionado myself. I like
what switches do you use?
I use Silent Reds.
Oh, yes, my man, fist bump. No one can see, but I'm fist bumping.
Actually, and this is, I swear to everyone watching at home, this isn't like a sponsorship thing because no one sponsors me and I don't care. The HyperX Silent Reds are legit one of the
I
best
also use the HyperX
switches that I've ever used. I had it on a Ducky 1-2 board that was sent to me by my friends at HyperX. Again, not sponsored, swear to God, disclosing that for everyone here. And that board was absolute fire. So anyway.
Oh, we love tattoos.
Players.
I am a tattoo aficionado.
Are you now?
I mean, look, I'm a little covered.
Oh, I am
got
too.
A few. Where's yours?
I have my one tattoo right on my wrist.
What's your tattoos, Ryan, again? You've got the shoulder?
So the idea that I have, my mum has a tattoo of Pink Panther on her arm. I was going to get something similar for Roger Rabbit.
I like that.
There
Roger Rabbit. Okay. As a Roger Rabbit fan, I'm quite happy about that. Chat's like, oh my God, what's Roger Rabbit? Read a book or watch a movie.
Don't read the book. The book is very different.
Yeah, don't read the book.
That isn't who framed Roger Rabbit. But anyway, I think another player for Fnatic I wanted to highlight is like Enzo. He had 18 assists on Breeze. And we were talking about like Mystic and Alpha, that combination. But Enzo, you mentioned it as well when we were watching it, Jess. The fact that he catches the flank going into doors, it was a great shut-up. And like Enzo against 100 Thieves on this map struggled a lot.
Okay, here we go. Prime Gaming, Agent Select, Map 3. Jess, let's see if we get any whimsy, any shenanigans,
Are
any fun.
there any changes to this? I gotta know, because if they do, this is something that I really... hello, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Furia's like, okay, we like the fact that we want to get a Sky into this. We've got a Sage as well, and then conversely, Boast are giving me that beautiful little Omen play there. I like that. I like what I'm seeing here, and I think given some of the mistakes, we have to call them mistakes, they are quite heavy losses. Some of the mistakes we saw in the first showing of this from these teams, they're plugging the holes by bringing a different composition.
Yeah, just the Sage in there overall. They've taken out the Raze entirely, so they're trying to sort of play a lot more stall, play the information, put DGSin back on the chamber. I think he was a bit like a loss. He was great on the first map, moved over to the KO. Didn't see all that much of him, but going over to Fnatic, the only real change is going to be Boaster moving away from the Astra, something a bit more proactive to set up. I mentioned Enzo, he had a pretty torrid time against 100 Thieves on Fade. This would be a great chance to shine up again, but I feel like everything's lining up for Fnatic now.
Okay, real quick. Just say who's going to win. Ryan?
Fnatic.
Yes, Fnatic. The desk is unified. They believe in Fnatic. I don't know. I have a feeling that we have something magical in the air with Furia. We'll see, though. No pressure, guys. It's only map 3, an elimination match. Either win here or go home. No big deal. Let's go ahead and send it over to your casters. It's Pansy and Hypox for the call.
Yeah, no big deal. I think map 1 put the fear of God in Fnatic, and it made them bring out a brilliant look. It certainly did. But map 3, where do we look here? Where are we taking this? Because I'm a bit worried seeing this roll in, but talk to me about your expectation.
I mean, there is a bit of a gap here when we look at Furia, and obviously it's those defensive stats, right? Again, that is the weaker side of the game here, so with Fnatic actually starting on the attack, they have to put up a solid defense here. Maybe this is actually, in terms of composition, something resorting back to having a bit more utility to slow down and then having certain tools available for the retakes. Well, that's something they lean heavily on. We have to keep an eye on, but it's got to be a good first half for me. That's the win condition here for Furia to pull this one across the line.
A tall task as well, considering Fnatic. I'm sure confidence will be sky high. Mazin going to be put to the test first and foremostly. Invests the wall towards long, quickly broken. And he does have support coming in. 3 players can make it towards the side, but Fnatic holding on the verge of breaking in towards this.
Actually, the siege goes up, but this smoke actually denying any sort of pressure behind it. Fnatic getting the impression a couple more bodies here than they're anticipating, but Furia stack 3 towards sewers. We're not going to try and catch the rotation off. It's only going to be Durka left here.
Even consider looking back. They're really curious about this. They can isolate him.
I mean, they've got him back to rights. Actually, when
Still Durka. And there it is. Okay. No worries in the end, but now we look towards the rest of where Fnatic was heading towards, which was that C site. Now, Khalil's been holding on towards CT. You've still got well placed towards the backside of Garage. They've still held a lot of space, so the postmark won't be super comfortable for Fnatic.
Waduh, Alfajer. Oh, untung dapat booster. Lah. Ete.
They should be able to get the half use here.
Surely Enzo gonna just put a couple of shots into the dark and hope for the best, but he's actually gonna sit this one. And ain't much gonna be stopping this poster. Just has to sit and wait. Diffuse right under his nose. 3 standing for Furia, and it works out well.
I'm not sure if the real curveball there is actually the kill that comes through in Garage, but resetting when Khalil's still standing towards long. The reveal wasn't back yet for Enzo, so there's no real way for them to ensure they can pressure that diffuse.
Yep.
Maybe the kill here is what completely alters the outcome here. But initially, we were talking about on Breeze not really having a tangible extremity to pressure here. These sorts of things for Fury, that re-clearance through sewers is key in terms of where Fnatic want to reset away from A lobby.
I do want to see how responds, or how Fnatic really responds to that longer term. This becomes a bit of a habit. As in, timing on the wall. Does he get to keep his life?
Nope.
No, absolutely not. Chased down and hunted. He's dead and gone. That's a big start. And Boaster in the meantime taking a lot of space. But these 2 players really close. This pop flash is good. Has to try and back away. And he's cleaned up. Furia just going to put the stops on this round before he got out of control. That first pick could have been dangerous, but it's been dealt with.
Beautifully done. Still the one to clean things up. Great recovery on B side as well. Boaster doing his best to create just a secondary layer of pressure. Removing that trap, puts the smoke up, but great flash from QCK just to clear inside that smoke. Anticipates it perfectly. Whether or not we do see Furia a little proactive here and go hunting, try and make use of weapons. They do have a Vandal and a Bulldog, so would imply maybe leaning towards
right there.
Receiving any pressure from Fnatic in the early round. Only Durka outside A lobby this time around, and unorthodox actually from Azim to be the only one holding down the
Oh, flash and miss.
completely punished here, but actually the pinch from mid is beautiful.
Lah.
Only good for 1 though.
Tiba-tiba last player standing ya guys ya.
Very quickly. You can actually see, yeah, it's Mazin picked up on the back of that mid contact as he tries to push a little further on A long.
Ya, masuk leaderboard nih langsung nih. Main ini. Time lap.
Any sort of individual fights he could find. First one will be Boaster. Sewer. Not particularly clean or quick enough. So Boaster's going to get out of there. Stick can now invest utility just to buy time. Really run down the clock. You can already see the closing coming up from Alpha here as well. So Khalil likely to keep his life. And yeah, Alpha is going to make sure of that as Fnatic find their first hit in map 3.
Comfortable as well. 4 standing, Rolling Thunder online now for the buy round. An opportunity for Fnatic to maybe piece together some sort of set piece here.
Lemas malah full. Fury Indonesia, solid. Kok solid sih? Furia Indonesia pan gue nyambung.
Heavy emphasis towards double doors once again. It's only
Oh, itu yang ini, Cok. Apa klub ranking ding? Solid itu.
But a flash, you know, Alfia coming out swinging, maybe dealing with the trap very early on here. They want to push and pull. Try and manipulate some of these rotations.
Waduh, timing.
Tanganku kaku banget ya.
Throwing caution to the wind, finding Durka, that's massive. That removes a big element of what Fnatic were banking on here. Because what else do they have? C-Long. Look at the progress already being made down C-Long. Khalil's walking this one. QCK with him as well. The
map attacker lagi nih, Bang.
If you're looking at just purely from Fnatic's perspective and waiting so ready on the other side. So prepared for this. Horn goes up as well.
Tuh, malah dia yang mental.
Gonna slip the net just slightly, but no one's on A connector.
This still comes through. Mystic gets punished though. Enzo on the backside of this.
Untung aja ada Al-Fajr anjir.
Oh, tapi ini belakangnya, Bang.
Wah, iya.
He's got to be dead. Yeah, Enzo's down. All in the hands of Alpha, who managed to slip through by connector. The flash not going to reveal position. The paranoia goes, Nick clears through, and by process of elimination, surely they're worried about it. The tag comes in, the flash goes out, he eats enough of it. It's an easy clear.
Ya Allah.
And it's 3 standing in a defuse coming through for Furia. This is the game we wanted. A close potential third map here, Mike. This is Furia getting back on track.
At least early on here, I'm seeing some of the positives of Mike. And the back of that contact, Furia pick an extremity. They send 2 down C-Long. It's confirmation, right, of exactly how Fnatic is setting up. Didn't necessarily see it on Breeze, but they didn't have a chance to even string together anything like this on their defense. But this already is looking much better. Maybe it is the fact that Durka falls first and there's no trap. That flank control going to be really pressured, but big positive to see early on here from Furia.
And now pumping the brakes for Fnatic, not the grapes. I'm hungry, what can I say?
Kamu nggak punya hot info nih?
Pumping the brakes for Fnatic. Adjustment.
Tanganku kaku, nembaknya cacat.
They can still fashion a purchase here, be it with maybe armor or whatever you want to look at.
Berhenti. Berhenti apanya?
Nanti.
I mean, it's interesting whether or not Furia are going to kind of set up a trap play towards Fnatic's early round here. Look to prevent them dealing with the trap. I mean, the wall goes up and you can usually gauge a general position or an understanding of positioning early on with how many people are going to deal with that.
Langsung time buat Fnatic ya guys ya.
Something Furia could potentially rely on in some of these buy rounds if Fnatic continue to leave a lobby to Durka. And actually on the other side of that, just Marzine to kind of pick up the slack there. So there are opportunities. I don't know how much Fnatic have probably figured that out just yet. There's nobody kind of holding these traps, right? I mean, there's a Trailblazer coming through behind it, so they have a general idea, but whether or not these intangibles that Fnatic are going to be able to really act upon is something we'll have to see. Outside of that, it feels like the opportunity lies towards A side. Looking as if that's going to be the focus here for Fnatic this time around, with 5 stacked outside. This time around, though, 2 members of Furia.
Yeah, we saw in the very early rounds Mazin was over here, but I want to see how this looks when we get all that pressure put towards it. Mystic investing utility towards it. All going to go through.
Oh,
too much really. At this point, I like this though. Quick progress elsewhere. You got the dog towards middle. You've already got that rotate coming in from Khalil. That's not a bad idea. Smoke towards CT, but here's that investment of the ultimate. Mystic going to try and set this in motion. Hawk going to come down and look at the damage done, but they can't get away from this Alpha here. This is still not over yet. Isolated another towards Sewer. This is huge damage, but a little maybe overzealous here, but buying time, and the rotations are in.
Bang, muka lu mirip CallMeKYY ya. Ya.
And look at these angles, they're so brutal. Just try and bait this one out. Boast to try and pull their attention. Gives up a fair fight, but nothing's fair about it. It's 4-1. Furia holding on to this, and that was a big.
Yang penting nggak mirip Jindan.
Once again, they've identified a weaker extremity. The flash is immediate on C-Long, all the way actually deep past the spawn barrier, so they know there's nobody sat passively behind that, and immediately that rotation comes through from QCK. He sends the Trailblazer into mid, so he knows that actually it's 4, potentially 5 stacked up here, which is why I think they're happy to kind of commit some utility early on, and the ultimate on top of that.
And the other round was so good as well.
Yeah.
Just ability to stay alive, find damage, and kind of re-aggress, take that space back of front sight. Oh, Okay, this is where I need to see Fnatic
Gimana Bang Arco?
get the close game I wanted, but I
Gimana
have hope
ini?
that they will do.
Mah petekar lo ini Bang.
If you're just tuning in, where have you
Iya.
been? It's an elimination game, life on the line, map 3. Vision already starting to explore here. And this is the default.
Tapi kok Alfajar pakai res ya Heaven ya? Udah kayak CallMeKYY aja.
Rotations have been perfect from Furia.
Iya, biasanya kan di sini kalau nggak Jet
Desperately waiting because I think they've actually read into the fact that
Minion
have been sending these probes out elsewhere.
Have to be.
jarang aku ngeliat yang main res di ini Heaven kalau VCT.
This is super
Hoping he doesn't overstay as well.
Going for it. He waited as long as he could. Safe enough to fall back to CT. Actually gets to get back towards site. There's a second flash, but there's no commitment. He can re-clear this. There was that flash confirmed in towards middle, so they should know there's still a player there, or was a player, and that's massive. This young man has now caught so much of what they wanted. There's no quick push off the back of it, though. Trap now dealt with in middle, reconfirming the Dirk is still around there. The flash towards Suwa gives away so much of what Fnatic wanted to do, and Furia unmoved. This is such perfect play, Furia!
Gila, easy banget. Susah nih. Kalau menurutku kayaknya kalah.
Menang Furia ya.
Kalau kayak gini ya mainnya ya. Gimana kalau resnya bingung juga mau ngapain?
Some RNG happens, right? Somebody swings that angle wide, but the fact that actually the reset towards Heaven picks up Boaster in that lurk is crucial as well.
That's a massive
like
round.
I said, typically there, the adjustment would be somebody's playing, you know, back towards A link or outside B, and they're ready to reactively come back through.
But Fnatic this time have much more to work with. Coming with rifles, a little bit of light armor, but you've got the ult here for Alpha here, so they have to respect this. They have to give up sight. He's going to post it and clear. Now, more comes back in. They know they're on site. That's about as much as you're going to get. You've got the C's potentially coming in. Already QCK going to try and clear towards the site as well, but it gives a little bit of room here. They should try and maybe peek ahead of this one. They're quick to this. Mike Paranoia said they're
Lah.
That's supposed to now remove. A look towards long, but it's a quick shutdown. Fnatic! Oh my, wait. Joker and Alpha just fell. It's a 1v2. It's not over yet.
Ketahuan tuh ya.
Marked and noted.
Nice.
Big late round information. Great
Yalah,
from Enzo.
75 yuk, ratakan.
Masih tahu booster.
Tak ngerokok dulu Bang biar nggak ngantuk biar bisa main Valo sama Vicky. Baik. Keren tidur. Rokok dulu Pik biar nggak ngantuk.
Insane exchange actually. It's really unfortunate Cleo actually gets tagged here and revealed off that.
It's big. Give him a bit of room there, Mike. They needed that. 5-2. It's not like it's, you know, Fnatic back in the lead by any margin. Rinse and repeat somewhat here, but willing to fight it out. Furia not backing down this time. Actually taking the aggression to Fnatic. Zero fear again. It's a glimpse back towards Icebox. They are just unrelenting, Mike.
It's such a good read as well. Knowing that Fnatic's pace change will feel really comfortable. Like, right, the A site hold is weaker. Yeah. There's one, maximum two. This time around, there's 3 members, and they fully commit to taking that engagement. Enzo will spot one on the cross. Jazine actually happy to re-swing it with the tour de force, but a 2v5 now for Mystic and Enzo.
What can they find? An opportunity? Can they carve an avenue for themselves? Deciding Garage can at least draw the attention towards for now. Removing the trap there. Prowler going to go through, clear close. Doesn't quite get towards the side of the site.
Ini game apa Bang? Kok mirip CSGO nggak gitu?
But the angle's still so brutal to work with. Khalil can just buy time.
Game buri kalau Fnatic kalah nih.
Actually, Mystic going to post up with the operator here, so you don't want to be shouldering that once again.
That's the shot. Khalil goes for the jump peek. Beautiful shot from Mystic.
30 seconds left.
And again, these prowls being handled. They don't quite know about this operator in position. Do they find any more room? Okay, Enzo looking towards Garage this time. So that kind of pulls it back towards QCK, towards Mazin, towards that B site this time. Mystic still firing. Can he find any more? So close yet so far. Mazin's the one to do it, and we got 6 now. Carved on the board for Furia.
Mazin closes out, and he's the one to open things up as well on A-Long. Beautiful address towards that previous round. Furia again, just looking in that same sort of groove they were on Icebox. They know exactly what Fnatic want to achieve in the early round. And even here with the curveball on that previous pace change, they set up perfectly for it. Totally catching Fnatic off guard.
You want to play?
They have
Play.
plenty of ults. Vision though, look at this guy, confidence brimming, fighting Durka. I didn't even see Durka. Alfia flew on by and even I got distracted. But again, a new position now found, making him work for it step by step. Sheriff's a guardian for Alfia, but it's far from pretty. This is starting to become a problem. Mystic noted, but actually I think Enzo as well potentially got noted on that. But again, at this point, hunting for opportunity and option. Fnatic not finding much here.
Spectre and a Guardian to work with. Sheriffs to round it out. Khalil will be called upon here, but he's got a smoke back online and he's got that paranoia to slow this hit down. We'll trade off here. The fault line for the paranoia. Be revealed as well. And actually, Alfayez very close on this already.
Really nice shutdown between Enzo and Alfayed to really isolate the back of the site there. But QCK going to fill the void and fill it fast. He needed that shot and he ain't going to get it. Bubster doing everything he can to try and keep Fnatic in this map. And well, in this tournament. And now recovered weapons. One with Mystic there. A TP for Boaster.
30 seconds left.
He gets sent back as just one alive in a 1v3. But still, handle to hand. And an opportunity for the plant here.
Spike planted.
Reposition A is going to be considered now. With Alfayez's position, I have a very, very good idea. Yeah, where to hold on to the fault line. Going to confirm it as well.
You need a massive mistake from Fnatic, but you've got to give credit here, in my mind, to Boaster.
50.
Really pulling that back in from the brink. Lovely work from him. That could have been a disaster in the making. That could have been another round, and Fnatic would still be lost without an answer.
A big positive as well that it's so decisive. As soon as they actually identify Khalil's under so much pressure, the fault line comes through, the aftershock comes through, the paint shell to make sure that they can find that down. But it's Boaster, as you noted, making that Spectre work on backside. And a little confidence booster to get a thrifty on the board. And weirdly enough, even with the scoreline here, look at the purchase coming out from Furia.
Yeah, right back in the bin. But these boys know no fear. They don't know of the name, they don't care for it. That is a problem. Lovely utility, so diligent from Fnatic to clear close, to not fall foul to any trickery they may be up to. And they found the hero rifle. That basically takes all of the bite away from this round that maybe Furia wanted to bring in. So highly diligent from Fnatic.
Have to convert this though. It's a 5v3. A Vandal, a Guardian and a Stinger still to work with for Furia. Fnatic a pause for thought. Demonstrating restraint here. That's another round though where Furia was chomping at the bit to find this opening engagement because they have gone their way. This is one that Fnatic were stacked up. Again, great utility uses just to identify to Jazeen through there. And actually a little bit of a bait with the Stinger, but not going to amount to anything. Poster actually finds the ball bank.
One enemy remaining.
Super clean work.
30 seconds left.
Just what the doctor ordered for Fnatic. Get that scoreline back into a place they can really work with. Again, feels more like a formality here for Mazin.
Drop the spike.
Doubt too much more damage can be done. You can already see Mystic closing this map down. There he is spotted. And again, should be a matter of money here. Punish one, trade comes down. So 4 standing. Fnatic moving up to 4. And the scoreline far from spiraling away now.
A moment for Fnatic to at least catch their breath. Operators back out though for Durka and to Jazeen. You can see just getting ahead of his TP range ever so slightly. You can see he's desperately backpedaling to get back into it.
3, 2, 1.
Nice! Good shit.
Trying to keep spirits high as well. And important here because this is an exhausting series, especially when you get backhanded on that map one. Actually, that's the previous flash I was talking about immediately here. Whether or not QCK going through the motions once again, and we'll confirm with the Trailblazer on the other side of things in Garage.
I like this. A different formula to try and find their way towards that C side, but already a shot exchanged. Paranoia does not find its wanted target, but they're just flying on the side. 3 players up. QCK still standing. Good flash goes in, but eats his teammate as well at that point. Blinded, unable to do too much, but QCK still standing. And they don't.
Here, though.
Spike's in the middle of no man's land. They need success through garage or something. So that Durka magic, maybe.
Well, can Durka grab it and actually TP away?
I don't know. QCK's posted on this. He doesn't want it back. I'm sure that Nightfall came in, not making much of a difference at this point, and there it is. Enzo finding 2. QCK still alive, and it's down to a 1v1. And it does seem as though the spike has been recovered, and Durka is on the run. Get the hell out of there and find a new way forward. Where does he take this now?
We have to get the clean plant on A. And actually, could even take very, very deep control of spawn here. There's been no rotation come through from Nzeri on the other side. Be an open plant though. I think now the penny's dropped. He confirmed. Got the reveal, got the C's. Durka actually using his TP to reposition now, so he has to take a much more passive angle, Lauren.
Again, maybe trying to be cautious in this, didn't want to risk too much. The Haunt and the Sea still in play as well for Nzeri. This could be pretty critical.
Seen Durka win him from here before.
That's
actually
it, big info.
reveal.
Wah, kabur. Lompat aja terus, Cok.
Magic Man to come online, and he's finding some form here for Fnatic. Necessary at this point, stringing a good couple of rounds together now. I thought that round could have been cooked. Remember, that spike got left in a really, really disastrous spot.
Sorry, look at that statistic. Zine is currently 11-2 on first kills to first deaths. That is outrageous. Especially considering you've got Durka and Alfia on the other side of this.
Yep. Yep.
2 prolific first blood enthusiasts. That is mental.
Really quite impressive. But again, then also then pull this into effect that Fnatic are still 1 round away from closing this all up, but that should be free enough. Takes down Nzeri, and now that A side is looking vulnerable. Seeker's going to come down. You're going to have Khalil still posted towards Sewer, so it's not completely done yet. And Mr. just goes walking on in. Alpha with the freeze kill of his life as Khalil drops down. Oh, QCK beheaded. And now just 2. Looking like the scoreline's going to tie up real evenly. This late round of the first half is looking so much better for Fnatic.
Yeah, it's been a great recovery here. Did Jazine get anything done here in a 2v4? Durka already posted up. Just takes his eyes off long for a moment though, and Jazine slip up. Enzo's there to pick up the slack though. 6-6 on the half.
Well, it felt night and day from how this one started, Mike. This
Oh,
felt
that is
like it was looking brutal for Fnatic, but
look at that
stability.
timeline.
Yeah.
Look at that timeline. It's a real resilience. I mean, grit and determination shown from Fnatic in some of these rounds. It's not really been, you know, the adjustments haven't suited Fnatic. There's been a couple of pace changes, yes, but Furia have come out on top in a couple of these important rounds where Fnatic have been the ones to try and be the initiators. Like I said, that stat paying dividends in some of these rounds.
It absolutely is, and we have to see how this echoes into the second half, because it could not be closer. 6-6 in map 3 between Furia and Fnatic.
Honestly, guys, it doesn't get any better than this. We are witnessing just a phenomenal clash between these regions here, but a great, I would say, recovery from Fnatic. It looked like it was going really poorly for them, but they were able to find those critical round wins, Jess.
Yeah, I'm never doing a prediction again. Never. Never. Every time I say, you know, Furia, it goes the other way. Every time I say Fnatic, it's seemingly going one way. So I just won't do predictions.
Tarek did say you were cursed.
Yeah, Tarek did say I was cursed. If you're watching this right now, I promise you one day the curse will end. But nevertheless, I was looking over the stats, of course, in Furia. They've taken the lead. And this man on your screen right now, NZR, is the one that is pushing this. And funny thing to note, he was the one that was anchoring A a lot. And if you look back historically at the way Fnatic attacks on this map, they are an A-heavy team. They're a team that will lean towards that control, lean leaning towards the play, and he was the one that just commanded control there. But conversely, there's another man on the other side.
Yeah, NTR being the
It's your
IGL of
fear.
Furia going up against Boaster, who is sort of being quite statistically, but you're 6-6 going into the second half on the third map of an elimination game.
Yep.
It's the mind games that are important. He is the leader of this team, and he's moved away from the Astra to be onto Omen. So these two, you can look at DG Sin, the fact that he's killed Durka 4 times as first kills, just shutting down him. But I think it comes down to these calls that these two players make, because this is incredibly important to nail down. Business as usual for Boaster. He does this time and time again at like, international events, but it's an interesting position to see NCR sort of try and thrive in.
I am worried about this second half here, because what does it look like for both of these teams? My
What does it look
question
like
is,
on the Furia attack?
well, that's what I'm saying, is that there's a Fury attack. This is Haven. Let us not forget that there is a multitude, a plethora of sites to push. I'm wondering now, we've got 2 big brains on either side, but conversely, we have 2 teams that are about to be eliminated. My thing is mental game here. We haven't brought it up so much so far. I think now is when it starts to kick in.
Oh boy, it doesn't get any better than this, folks. At the end of this, we're going to find out who's moving on and who's going home. Pansy, Hypoc, take it away.
Thank you so much, and you're absolutely right, Desk. And you know, bringing back in the fact that only one of these teams will move forward here, it feels unthinkable to have the game this close, and one of the two will have to bow out at this point. But Mike, 6-6, it's tied up all even. Coming into the second half, where do you see this now tilting?
I mean, I'm going to come back to what I said before that first half started. Furia had to have a solid defense, so to come out here 6-6 is a real positive for me. There's still hope left, right? Furia have to cook something up, though, to try and disrupt some of these defensive protocols. Look at this!
The combination is unreal. So well considered, so well crafted, and Furia just get crushed. So much was poured into that crunch towards mid. That was beautiful. I want to watch that one again. I could watch it all day long. As now, just the last 2 alive. Gonna do a little bit of damage on the way down, but it does feel like that swan song on the way out of this round, and then it's cooked. Fnatic, what a start, Mike. That's got to set the notes here.
Just to come back to that last point from the desk, right, the mental game, to have confidence to be decisive in this pissed around in the second half, it's almost psychological warfare here, right? We're going to get ourselves on the board. We're going to make you guys claw back into this half. It's exactly what you want to see from Fnatic.
It just seems the paranoia, the swing from middle, every piece of utility, tailor-made to make this hard work from Furia. Not a second of rest now. And we talk about mental games. Seeing Fnatic not looking stressed is very different to how they looked in Copenhagen.
I mean, times of those player counts, it's been uncomfortable viewing.
Yep, absolutely. Furia right back into things though.
Wah, ditinggal ngopi 7-6, Bang.
Way too close
Iya,
somehow.
Bang Ki.
As it stands though, this looks like light work. Boaster. How's he making this look so easy? Plenty of utility in play though. Any damage?
Waduh.
QCK back of the side, still gonna catch a little bit of something.
Waduh.
Hold up.
Waduh.
Whoa, no way. Not
Waduh.
again. How is this now?
1v1.
One more bullet in the headhunter. It's all he's got to play with, and it might be all he needs. Flash doesn't find its purchase.
There's a Vandal right there. There's a Vandal on the floor in front of DigiZ.
That temptation. 3 for Mystic in this round. 2 of the players who've had massive impact already, but it never should have been this close. Spike's not in hand, but he's got time, Mike. He's got, what, 40 seconds to play with here?
He can let this burn, honestly. Allow the pressure to build on Mystic.
Because how many times is Mystic going to have to recheck towards that Spike? Double down, make sure it's still in play, but... Oh, Mystic. Is he peeling away from this? Playing safe. This is smart work.
Ketahuan harusnya kalau udah lama gini ya.
He's going to actually wrap all the way through spawn. I think the timing's going to be fairly awkward though, because through the process of elimination, DigiZ might actually clear back through C-Link.
Maybe. Mystic.
Especially if he gets the plant hit. Oh no, he's going to plant safe.
Mystic has just absolutely galaxy brain.
Waduh, kok aneh Mystic.
And the spike's going to go in. I have to look at Mystic right now.
Tuh dapet kok malah.
GG. Mystic just
gak kayak Vicky. Gak logis aja. Bisa-bisanya dia muter jauh banget loh. Salah akhirnya tadi Mystic itu takernya aja. Makanya kataku kok aneh. Spike-nya drop kataku.
They drew blood. That's for sure.
And the fact he got this close. Again, incredible work. when you look at it from Mystic's side, but the fact it got here, and the guts to go for that at this point. You're happy that
Gua
Mystic's
kesel
had a big
bapak ini.
game, right? A different day may not felt confident in doing that.
Wah, beli Vandal
Big choice.
semua.
In
Armor
a big
kecil.
round in pretty much a big game here. 6 to 8
Fnatic nih,
Fnatic
bos.
though with the start they needed. And the bonus, looks pretty tasty.
Utility burnt out very early on here. Furia actually will swing behind.
Fik, dia make Vandal, make Res cuman buat combo Pak sama Fate itu, Fik.
It's on a mission. So catches it. Boasting out position towards A-Link as well. Anticipating a lurk, but Furia pausing here. I'm not sure actually, I mean looking at Mystic's utility, the fault lines used, so they should have confirmation of at least 3 members of Fnatic on A site. With the C's, the paint shells, and the fault line coming through. Fnatic happy to post up on it as well. They're even just going to set up a contact play here with Mystic, it looks like.
Wah, dapet sih nih. Mystic sih. Mystic adalah kunci ini. Wah, ente.
And now the trades come out and they break through on the site. Furia walk into the site that was stacked and they still win the fight.
Wah, Mystic sih tak ente sih gara-gara dia ngancurin itu, Bang. Padahal tadi ngeblendnya maju loh itu. Bisa dibunuh harusnya.
I didn't love that from Furia, but it worked out.
I mean, it's almost on a knife's edge for Furia.
Karena dia ngancurin Leer, apa sih? Scan.
The reveal goes in. There's also the Sky Flash coming behind that. Thank God they actually confirm and clear that close corner.
I thought Mystic was on for a sitter then.
Yeah.
2, 3 kills potentially. Okay, that's gonna be 7.
And 4 standard.
Okay, good point.
The Jazine 3 off the Tour de Force as well.
Not bad.
It's a decent position to come into round 16 in the next. We'll see how it sits for Fnatic on the other side, because this was rifles across the board and light shields.
Yes, it was.
See the money on the right side again. It's not worth a purchase at this point, but they do have to basically concede in terms of the finances. They almost allow Furia to tie things up. And do we see the same sort of aggression here from the pistol round? Fnatic look to prevent Furia from getting themselves set up. Yeah, you can see the frustration there, because that one did slip through his fingers.
Yeah.
Half a second either way, and Mystics
absolutely
good for the first and maybe even the second. If that
you
flash
swing from the back of the site, maybe.
I mean, if he kills QCK, that flash doesn't go off and he can swing long.
Yeah, it totally changes the outcome of the round, but yeah, a very dangerous approach even from Furia to still go towards that site. As we said earlier, you noted 3 different players on there. You just cleared back through towards the more pushed up side of A-Long, but madness.
The thing behind that, there's no due diligence behind that at all.
No, it's a contact first, basically.
They hear the Prowler come through, but that doesn't tell them about the other 2 players still positioned there at all. Like I said, it's a ballsy decision to make, but
that was the entirety of Icebox. That's how it felt. You watch that. How many times did they over-aggress?
Same on Breeze. It was very deathbally. There was never kind of any second consideration. And actually, here on